When Warrington beat Leeds on March the 13th, they ended the Rhinos' unbeaten start to the season. How fortunes have turned round in the 6 weeks since. Leeds have won all 6, Warrington have lost 5. The Rhinos are top, Warrington trail them now by 10 points. But can the Wolves do it again here at Headingley? Well, last night we were at Bellevue to see Wigan pick up their first win away from home in 2015. That win at Wakefield took them second in the table behind the Rhinos. And Leeds are now a mere 5 points clear of the field. Just the one reverse all season. Warrington 6th. Nothing disastrous yet, but a 12-point gap between them and the Rhinos would be a lot to make up in the second half of the 23-round season. It's a tight race in 2015. Just 7 points separating Wigan in second and Hull, who are next to bottom. Wakefield will be hoping the other results favour them this weekend. Otherwise, they could easily be cast adrift at the foot of the table. And indeed, let's take a look at the weekend programme right now. Super League's 3 amigos are warming up at the touchscreen. It's over to Barry, Terry and Brian.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie, and it's a big welcome back to Barry McDermott, absent last week with
the gastric band.
Terry O'Connor, 5 from 6 last week. Barry, 5 from 6. Tips correct in your absence. We'll see how you go tonight. You did both tip Wigan last night to beat Wakefield.
For him,
okay,
he was sick.
You picked his. Okay, all right, boys. First game up for us, Hull FC against Huddersfield. It's at the KC Stadium. Big news for Hull FC fans is the return of Mark Sneyd. Has missed the last 4 games with an ankle injury. He comes straight back into the halves in the place of Jordan Rankin. For the Huddersfield Giants, Chris Bailey, bicep surgery this morning, means he will not play, obviously, for the Huddersfield Giants. No Jordan Cox, who is on loan from Hull Kingston Rovers. He's out with an illness. So in come Michael Lawrence and Anthony Mullally to the side that beat the Catalan Dragons so convincingly last week. Now, both of these sides, while sitting lower in the table than they would hope, certainly in Hull FC's case, they're all the way down in 11th. Huddersfield in 5th at the moment. Are the best defensive sides in the competition so far, Terry O'Connor. Might, at the KC Stadium, points be at a premium?
Yeah, Brian, it's incredible, isn't it? Normally it's the teams at the top who've got the best defensive record. Go back to round 1 when Hull went to Huddersfield, beat them 19 points to 0, and we're bringing back Mark Sneyd into the side. It complements Leon Price. We've always talked about how good the forwards are. We always wax lyrical about how good Danny Houghton is. I think that Hull FC, this is a big game, and
this is footage of their cup victory against Sheffield Eagles. Jordan Rankin will not play on this. Will they have enough points in them to get through this Huddersfield line?
They could do. They've got to do the right things, haven't they? Because Huddersfield are a good side.
I'll tell you why I fancy Huddersfield in this game. Not only are they one of the best defensive teams, they also lead the league in errors made. So that's a really good positive sign if you're a coach.
Why?
The back three with grit.
Why is it a positive sign?
Because they're not afraid to throw the ball around, ask some questions. They've got some intelligent rugby league players, Scott Griggs being one of them, who spots that opportunity, backs up and tracks down the middle and picks up the points for his team. They're not afraid to take those chances and take those risks, but they're also a pretty smart rugby team. If you look at the last 4 games, even though they won that game against Catalan, the 3 games before that, when they'd when they'd lost to Salford, Hull KR and Saints, there was 4, 3 and 6 points. So I fancy Huddersfield in this game.
Good defensive sides, Brian, just picking up what Brian said, you're not bothered, you'll throw the ball around, because if you make a mistake, you're confident that you're going to back it up, aren't you? Hull FC, well, they haven't scored enough points and they're down languishing near the bottom of the table, but Huddersfield, and we were with Kieran Patel early on in the week, he said that what we're doing now, we're not just coaching the skill out of the place, but we're coaching them as players to take the lead on the pitch.
They weren't happy with 38 points against the Catalan Dragons, thought they would get a lot more. We will reference throughout the night plenty of times league positions, but on the table between 4th and 11th, you would have seen it when Eddie went through the table, is only 3 competition points, so every win is going to be crucial. Okay, KC Stadium tonight, who wins, Terry, and by how much?
I've gone for Huddersfield to win this by 8 points, looking at what they did last week, Brian.
Yeah, I'm the same. Huddersfield by 8 points.
Okay, guys, next up for us is at Langtree Park, and it's St Helens, who were convincingly beaten by the Leeds Rhinos. We'll talk about Leeds shortly. Last week, they lost 41 points to 16. They host to witness Vikings, 46 points to 16 winners at home against Castleford. Witness oh so impressive. They get to bring Joe Miller back into their side. Mark Percival, he comes back in. He's missed the last 7 games, guys. He's in. Lance Ohia is absent. Big news, though, for St Helens fans is the pairing of their halfbacks together at long last. Luke Walsh started off the bench against Leeds. People were saying, why did they bring him on earlier? Kieran Cunningham said he had to be oh so patient. At last, Travis Burns and Luke Walsh back together
That
again.
was the same the week before as well, Brian. And we saw that the first 20 minutes of that second half against Leeds, how Luke Walsh came on and he turned that part of the game. He's a quality player, as is that man, James Roby. John Wilkin, he'll revert to the back of the pack. He's come back into the side. He was in doubt. He had a little niggle. He's come back into the side. I think it's Mark Flanagan who misses out. But they've got so many good players, Saints, and they were taken apart. But this man can change the game. He's so confident. He loves playing. He throws that pass. Okay, it's a lucky bounce, but they still score the try. And Luke Walsh inspires the men around him.
There's a bit of rustiness from Luke Walsh there, but you see the threat he has. It's much like Kevin Brown for Widnes. When good players have the ball in their hands, defenders tend to stop, hold, sit back in the armchair because they're never too certain about what's going to happen.
Now, we spoke last week about that game that we're seeing the footage of, Rhys Hanbury about to return the ball, being a must-win game for Widnes because of the games they had coming up. Not only did they win it, they had great performances from players like Hanbury who needed a big performance, Terry.
Yes, they did. And you know, some of the players haven't probably hit the straps, and Rhys Hanbury here, he kicks the ball forward. There was
Barry didn't see a kick. You think
people saying it was dropped.
Yeah, it's like one of Tezzy's kicks.
But again,
that.
they scored the try, don't they?
Yeah.
I think that to beat Casford like they did in the manner in which they beat them, I'm looking forward as well to Lloyd White against James Roby. I think that would be a very good battle.
Lloyd White is a player that Dennis Betts rates that highly.
Highly.
He thinks he might be international quality at the end of the season.
Yes.
Barry, would you agree with that?
Yes, but I think what Widnes need, they need all the best players to play well at the same time, where I think if you look at Saints, they can afford to have one or two players just having an off night. That's why I fancy Saints in this one.
It's a battle of the halves. It's the battle of the halves. You've got the big front runners going at each other. It's the battle of the halves who will dictate this game. I know we say it all the time, but the halfbacks in Joe Miller and Kevin Brown and Luke Walsh and Travis Burns.
And it might be
they'll
what you get
decide
off the benches as well. Dennis Betts has been very impressed with his bench. Keeps the same bench that beat Castleford, Manicafoa, Isa, Gerrard and Jeremiah, who's been so good. Who wins and by how much?
I've actually gone for Saints to win this game.
Okay, Saints by 20, says Terry.
Saints by 10.
Saints by 10, okay, slightly narrower victory for the St. Helens side. Okay, next up is a game you can see live on Sky Sports tomorrow. It's all the way from the south of France. Join Barry, Terry and Bill, 4:55 p.m. on Sky Sports 3 for the Catalan Dragons against Hull Kingston Rovers. And you might see the return of Todd Carney. Today he was having the last run out with the side. Laurent Fresneau said he would, after that run out, make a decision on Todd Carney's fitness. He said he's very close. He has started only 3 of the 11 games so far for the Catalan Dragons, finished only one of those. Rib injury against Salford and a torn calf against Hull FC have kept him out for a long period of time. Everybody in Super League desperate to see Todd Carney at the best. Everybody in Super League may get to see the first appearance in a Hull Kingston Rovers jersey of their new signing, Dane Tilse. 6'7", 18 stone. Their new signing from the Canberra Raiders will only pile on the pressure. A man who is already under pressure. Are things beginning to fray for Laurent Fresneau?
Well, Laurent Fresneau has an incredible squad. When you look at the roster and you look at it 1 to 25, there's some really talented rugby league players. Jerome Guisset and Laurent Fresneau have been there. They're original Catalan Dragons, so they know what the culture's about. They know that the crowd demand good performances, good, expansive, open rugby league, and they've been disappointing at best.
A man who can play expansive rugby league and put in good performances, but who has been disappointing, is Morgan Escaray, who we dropped last week. Had played 39 of the previous 40 games, missing only 1 through suspension, and for the first time, Laurent Fresneau's dropped him.
I think there's more than Morgan Escaray. I'm just not being convinced with Catalan this year. There's only Wakefield that have conceded more points than them. Yeah, they just need to convince me, because when Todd Carney played those 2.5 games that he played, all of a sudden people are saying this side are going to go better than last year and get to the grand final.
You'd always fancy Catalan at home, and I'm looking at this game. I can't back them. I've got to give the credit that's due to Hull KR. Yes, they're a good side, and obviously Dane Tilse coming in will add some size. He's the same weight as me, but there's about 9 inches different.
That's a big man.
I think my bones are built slightly different than him, but he'll make some inroads in the middle, down that middle channel.
Catalan Dragons have 4 wins in their entirety this season. 3 of those have come at home, as well as that 40-all draw with Salford Red Devils. Maurice Blair comes back in for Hull Kingston Rovers, as does James Green. And young Conor Robinson will play in the hooking role because Sean Lunt is out. His wife is expecting a baby.
I'm really looking forward to see Hull KR. We talk about Hull KR, how they played, you know, on a dry pitch, and we know that it's not a easy place to go to when you go to the south of France, but I think I'm really looking forward to seeing Albert Kelly get out there, Camp Easy. I really like what Chris Chester's done with that side. He's given them the freedom to play on a dry good surface. I think that Hull KR are going to win this game.
And just a word on young Connor there. He'll have a very simple job. I've met him a good few times. Connor, very passionate about his club. Really proud to represent Hull KR. He'll have a simple job description. Pass the ball, give it to those ball players, and tackle your heart out.
Yeah. Excited about seeing Dane Hills?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, Catalan Dragons, 4 of the next 5 games are at home. Their games against the likes of Wigan and St Helens as well. This will be a game they will be targeting to win. Who wins, Terry?
I've gone for Hull KR by 12, Brian.
Me too. Hull KR by 8.
Okay, boys, next game up for us. Salford Red Devils against the Castleford Tigers. This at the AJ Bell Stadium, Sunday at 3 p.m. Well, I don't know where to start with the Salford Red Devils injury list. Kevin Locke, though, and Jason Walton come back in, as do Matty G and Ryan Lanning, to the side that was beaten by Lee, 22 points to 18 in the Challenge Cup. No Rangi Chase, no Well Haraki, no Corey Patterson, and no Darrell Griffin. All of those still suspended. So they've had to go out to clubs and get players on loan. Oliver Gildart and James Greenwood come in from Wigan on loan. Wayne Godwin, of course, on loan from Dewsbury. He played the game against Lee. This will be his first Super League start in a long time for Salford Red Devils, well over a year, I think. Castleford Tigers, they bring Luke Gale in, and Ash Robson, I should say, fullback, halfback, is on standby for his first Super League appearance, 19-year-old. No Ryan Bailey yet, though, for the for the Castleford Tigers, against what is turning out to be the Red Cross more than the Red Devils.
Yeah, they seem busted, don't they, lads, at the minute, because they got 4 suspended, 8 injured, bringing in players. Last week when they played against Lee in the Championship, they were taken apart. I thought probably one of the only players to come up with any credit really was Niall Evalds. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. He just never gave up.
He's got energy and enthusiasm, and you can thrive off that. If he's out the back and his communication's good. I was disappointed, and I know internally at the Castleford camp they were disappointed in themselves. They thought they were going to go to Widnes, put up a good show and get a result, and they did neither. And there's been some harsh words and some honest discussions taking place.
Do you know, I was at that game. They were poor, they were bullied. The execution wasn't what we expected from them. The kicking game was poor as well.
When you say wasn't what I expected from them, is that because of what we saw against Hull Kingston Rovers in front of the Sky Sports cameras? How they defended from minute 1 to minute 80, restricted Hull Kingston Rovers, who you say throw the ball around, to just a solitary try.
Yeah, I'm probably looking at Castleford from last year and what they've done this year. I know that the league's all condensed and it's all tight outside of that top 2, but you look at Castleford and we're not talking about Castleford at the bottom of the table anymore. When we see them, we're all expecting them to be up there challenging, don't we?
Okay, the boys warming up for the big game ahead of us. Leeds and Warrington back to the Castleford Tigers Red Devils game. 11 points on the table for Salford Red Devils. They're in 4th. Castleford in 7th on 10 points. A really good opportunity for Castleford to jump up and bump up. Will they do it?
Yeah, I expect a response from Castleford. Everything that I hear coming out of the camp is about the honesty of this week and how Darrell Powell has reinforced just what the standards are at the club. You ally that along with the fact that Salford are busted. They're playing players out of position. Ian Watson is as old as me and Tez and played amateur rugby at Eccles with Adrian Morley, who's still contributing but hasn't played for a long time at top level.
Okay, does Darrell Powell get the response? Barry, who wins?
Yes, I'm going to go Cass by 10.
I think they'll be let down from what they did last week, and I've actually gone for Cass here by 22 points. A big one, but 22 points.
Yeah, yes, and Harris's side are busted up. Okay, that brings us to the main event tonight at Leeds Carnegie Stadium. It's the visit of the Warrington Wolves to the Leeds Rhinos, who have lost just 1 game in the first 11 in Super League. That solitary loss came, would you believe it, against the Warrington Wolves 7 games ago, 18 points to 6. That after the Leeds Rhinos had been so impressive in victory over Hull FC. In comes Rob Mulhern for Brian McDermott's side in place of Andy Yates. And Tony Smith, we believe, has stuck with more or less the same side that went down 30 points to 20 against the Wigan Warriors. And that means, again, another start for his halfback partnership of Deck Patton and Richie Myler. We see Joel Monaghan and Stephen Ratchford. A lot will be expected of Stephen Ratchford in this game. These Rhinos, though, oh so impressive.
I'll just explain, that's tackle technique, that, Brian, just in case you're wondering what they're doing.
I didn't have to do any of that. Lads, let's go back to Friday the 13th. Yeah. How on earth did the Warrington Wolves beat the Leeds Rhinos side back then? What's the blueprint, and what do they need to bring today?
Well, they need to manufacture some self-belief. They manufacture the fact that they can and are possible to beat players and teams, including players like Ash Hanley, who's had a magnificent start to his Leeds career.
What Tony Smith said was, before that game on Friday the 13th, they had watched the video against Hull FC where Leeds scored 43 second half points, and it put fear into his players, fear to defend for their lives in the game. will this game, this footage we're seeing, Terry, have the same effect?
Yeah, Brian, they knew that they had to be on the game. They don't want to be embarrassed. And you know, when you play against the Leeds Rhinos, it is going to be very tough. But at the end of the day, Warrington have got some strike themselves, whether it be Stephen Ratchford, whether it be Joel Monaghan on the edge. They've got some outstanding players who played in grand finals, who know what it takes to win those big games. And Ben Curry, who's got the ball, he's an athlete, this lad.
Yeah, and there's a nice little battle there, even though they're on opposite sides. Stevie Ward and Ben Curry have gone through the academy system together, so two very highly rated. I've just seen Ben Westwood in the car park, getting out of his car. He's driven over, gets his boots out the back of the car, give him the thumbs up. I said, "Are you all right, Ben? Have you got all your gear?" He said, "I need that, and I need that." And he's got plenty of ticker. Yeah. And if the players that he's playing alongside can match his intensity, because when he plays and he's got that big forehead and that big frown, and you know he's in the mood for it, if those players can match his intensity, then we'll have a game on it.
He will be on the right. He'll be on the. That will be on the right side of the field. The left side of the field had some issues last week with Ben Curry, with Dick Patton, with Toby King, and with Gene Ormsby. Terry, they're facing Callum Watkins, Carl Ablett, and Liam Sutcliffe.
And you know, Brian, you know it's a ruthless game, isn't it? If there's a weakness there, and young Patton, he missed 9 tackles last week. I'm not saying that they would have highlighted that, but
would you have put Ben Westwood over on that side for a period in that game and not like Gelling and Tompkins?
Yeah, would you have shifted him? Would you have tried to disrupt what you're trying to do? Is it more about what you do?
What does it say about the player you're moving? Yeah, more important.
It messes with their head as well, doesn't it? When you play against, they would have talked about Warrington all week. Leeds Rhinos offload. You've got to make sure. Cuthbertson's the man. Obviously, Jamie Peacock. They average 20 offloads a game. Now, that is a big stat, that is a big stat, and that's a repeat effort of a tackle. When you're wrapping somebody up, and then you've got to make sure you do another percent.
Benny Westwood, man of the match in that last victory. This man here, Kevin Sinville, the headlines will be about him this year. In his last year in Super League, tonight he plays his 500th game there. For Sheffield Eagles was his debut back in 1997. For Leeds, I should say, against Sheffield. 500 games later. Now, on the bench, last week against St Helens, took a lot of headlines, put extra pressure on Liam Sutcliffe, and he did. He performed.
Well, I'm enjoying watching Sutty play. There's no doubt that Liam Sutcliffe will be part of this club for as long as he wants to be. But Kevin's got a different role. I heard during the week him talk about the role that Paul Wellens has. We can equate it to other sports, or we want Ryan Giggs and all that type of stuff, but it's Paul Wellens who he's focusing in on, honing in on, and saying, I'm going to do for Leeds what Paul Wellens has done for Saints. Incredible player, incredible professional. I remember him making his debut. I broke my leg a month before me at the back end of '97, but I've known him since he was 13, and he deserves everything he gets. He's up with the top echelons of the players in this club's history. John Atkinson, John Holmes, Fred Webster, and he's 4th on that list now, and he deserves it.
Yeah, he's in esteemed company, Kevin Sinfield, and you mentioned Paul Wellens as well. Two of the greats of Super League. Terry, will Kevin Sinfield inspire them to victory tonight?
I think he will, Brian. I think that they know that the only loss that they've had this year was against Warrington. They're up for it. It is night. No one's going to spoil it.
By?
I think they're actually going to win by about 10 points.
Barry?
I'm going to go close. I'm going to go the Leeds by 4. High-scoring game, but very tight.
OK. Can Warrington Wolves, Eddie, confound the two pundits down here? They were 5 from 6 each last week. Will that be the one they lose out on this week?
Well, we say thank you, gentlemen, at the touchscreen. And, yeah, that is an intriguing question. Will Warrington win here tonight, or will Kevin Sinfield inspire the Leeds Rhinos to victory on his 500th appearance? And I'm going to hand you straight over to Phil Clark, who's waiting for us down at pitchside now. And, Phil, the question for you is this a must-win game for the Warrington Wolves? Because 12 points if they lose, 12 points to make up on Leeds if they lose tonight. That's surely too much between now and the split into the Super 8s.
Well, it is a must-win game if they have any aspirations of finishing in the top couple of places. To make the top 8, of course, they don't have to win tonight, but their confidence would no doubt be dented if they fail here again to beat this Leeds side. Not only have Leeds been the best team this year, but they've scored the best tries, the most spectacular plays, both individually and at times collectively. Long-range efforts, one's involving offloads, as Terry has talked about, one's involving a series of passes, and some brilliant skill. The biggest difference between Leeds this season and last season is their attacking game. Last year they could defend all right, they've stopped lots and lots of tries, but they couldn't get over the line often enough. That isn't the case tonight. And Warrington are fully aware that this will have to be a season-best performance. OK, they've beaten them once so far this year. Maybe they had an element of luck on that occasion. And they're having to learn and adapt very quickly. They've got 2 different half-backs tonight who played when they played 6 weeks ago. And they've also had a massive change in the space of a hooker. They've gone from having one of the best team hookers in Michael Monaghan to one of the best individual hookers in Darrell Clark. that transformation and change hasn't happened as quickly as I guess the Warrington supporters would like, but still it gives themselves a chance, because when they fire, they've got the potential to beat anybody in this competition. It's just not happened often enough. It needs to be very good. I think where they've been pushed to the limit, we've seen the best from Warrington. They're certainly going to be pushed that far tonight.
Thanks, Phil. OK, as you see, Steve-O is alongside me here in the studio as we get closer and closer to kick-off time in this match of the round of round 12 between the Rhinos and the Wolves. Steve-O, I want to talk to you, first of all, specifically about Kevin Sinfield. It's his 500th appearance. He's starting this match off the bench. Now, the sentimentalist inside me says that Kevin should be leading the team out. He will do that, but he should be kicking the game off. Is that purely sentiment, or has Brian McDermott got it absolutely bob on?
The coach has got it right. He knows that he has to win convincingly tonight to separate them well away from Warrington. We know that they lost at Warrington. Kevin Sinfield is a true professional and will understand what his coach is doing. He is grooming Liam Sutcliffe to take that position. And as Baz has already mentioned, is the fact that he wants to stay Sutcliffe at this club for a long, long time. He wants to follow in the footsteps of a legend, and he is a legend, but he also is a realist. He knows he's going to rugby union, so therefore the coach, there's no point in putting him at. What effect would it have had on Liam Sutcliffe if he said, you're starting on the bench? You're sitting on the bench after a wonderful display over the last 2 weeks. You cannot knock the man's confidence. Good coaches, Eddie, never change a good winning side. And McDermott has made it quite clear to everybody that's in this rugby league game is that sympathy won't win you any games whatsoever.
I understand that, Steve, but couldn't he have played him at loose forward and said to Brad Singleton, come on, later on in the match?
No, he's making a point.
Okay.
And the point is that he's the boss, and he said, look, if Sinfield would have started and Warrington put them to the cleaners tonight, guess what? The coach would say, why on earth did you put, this young Sutcliffe has done everything, and his position was going to be out there at standoff. And Sutcliffe has taken that position, and I think that the coach has done it absolutely perfect.
OK, we're going to talk about Warrington now. You say a coach doesn't change a winning side. The Warrington coach hasn't changed a losing side, and they were beaten by Wigan last week. This is apart from the fact that Asatazi goes onto the bench and Sims comes into the front row. This is the same team that lost at Wigan last week. No changes. Gareth O'Brien, Kevin Penny, not used.
I think he's probably been forced into that. I don't think that he's had much option to get onto it. But the one thing I do want to say about Smith, the coach, is that why on earth is he just holding back Darryl Clark? And a lot of the Warrington fans, they're mystified. When he was at Castleford, he was an absolute game breaker. The man was picking the ball up on the full, right from the dummy half position. All we've seen this year is one step and offload. The last game that we saw and was televised, he ran from dummy half 3 times. He used to do that 6 times within the first 10 minutes. That's what made him a great player. That's what made him being selected for his country. And yet, for some unknown reason, Smith, the coach, decides he wants to just farm the ball out. I'm mystified. As a former hooker, I just cannot believe this man made his name. He's just explosive from the dummy half position. I know he's got Mickey Hyam, and it's wonderful to have two hookers like that. But why on earth he's not letting him run his own race is beyond belief.
Well, as you can see, a big crowd here at Headingley tonight waiting for this game to start. And it is the Leeds Rhinos who are top by 4 points against the Warrington Wolves. Currently 10 points behind them in the table. If they lose this, they go 12 points behind them. And that's a massive gap to make up between now and the end of the 23rd round when we make the big split. It's this man's big night. It's Kevin Sinfield's 500th appearance for the Leeds Rhinos club. He leaves at the end of 2015. This is the dawn of the new era. There were some chilling words from coach Brian McDermott following Leeds' win at St Helens last Friday. We can get better. I think everyone would say there's a bit more improvement in us. Experienced heads like Jamie Peacock and Kevin Sinfield won't be there next year. But 5 points clear of the field, and with the new guard emerging, the good times look like continuing. It was a stunning win at Saints. Ash Handley stealing the show with his hat-trick of tries. But in Liam Sutcliffe, they have the heir apparent to Sinfield. Is this the dawn of a new golden era at Headingley? Well, this is a crucial game for Warrington's coach, Tony Smith. They lost for the 5th time in 6 games at Wigan on Friday, despite starting the game well. They were 10-0 up inside the first 10 minutes. And when the lead changed hands for the 6th time at the start of the second half, hopes were high. But the Wolves simply couldn't hold on. Despite that, Ben Curry is coming of age in 2015. He topped the tackle count and scored a try last week. Can he weave some magic tonight against the league leaders? Well, it'll need a big performance from Ben Curry and all the rest of the Warrington Wolves, because if last week's performance at St Helens is anything to go by, Leeds Rhinos are in blistering form. Add to that the fact that Warrington have lost their last 3 visits to Headingley and have won just one of the last 6 in 2015. It's looking a tall order. Let's take a check on the way the two sides will line up. Naturally, Leeds are unchanged in their starting 13 from last week's win. Hardacre, Watkins, Ablett, Moon, Handley, Sutcliffe alongside Maguire. Up front for Leeds, it's Cuthbertson, Ayton and Peacock, Ward, Delaney and Singleton. There is one minor change on the bench where Rob Mulhern comes in wearing number 25. He's joined by Burrow, Sinfield the skipper on his 500th appearance, and Mitch Achurch for the coach Brian McDermott. Warrington 2, they're unchanged just about. Ratchford at fullback, Monaghan skippers the side, Bridge, King and Ormsby, Patton and Myler. Just one switch in the forwards where Ashton Sims begins, and he's alongside Hale and Hyam. Curry, Westwood and Harrison complete the forward pack. Sims's inclusion means that Asatazi drops to the bench alongside Clark, Laithwaite and England, and the coach is Tony Smith. So here they are, the two sides lining up, and since losing at Warrington on the 13th of March, Leeds have won 6 in a row. What's more incredible about that run, only 2 of them were here at home. After Wigan's win last week at Wakefield, they find themselves coming into this match 5 points clear at the top. And what a night for Kevin Sinfield, even though he starts off the bench. It's his 500th appearance for this club. He is again Super League's top goal kicker in 2015 so far, with 38 goals. And his presence on the bench and the fact that Leeds are in such great form will provide quite a test for this Warrington team, who just 6 weeks ago they ended Leeds' 4-match winning start to the season. They've won just one since. That was 80-0 against Wakefield. 5 defeats in the last 6. Not a good record coming into Headingley, Steve-O, and they'll have to be on top of their form tonight if they're to get over the Rhinos.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the Warrington coach, Tony Smith, has made it quite clear that they've got to be aggressive, they've got to be ruthless, and they really have to get into the faces of this Leeds outfit, especially in the forwards. It's, quite frankly, the only way I can see Warrington causing an upset tonight. You've already mentioned the fact that Rhinos in superb form, so much so that Liam Sutcliffe starts, and as you've mentioned, Kevin Sinfield, 500th game tonight. He will be coming off the bench, so the confidence is running right the way through this Leeds outfit. But Warrington, they'll be looking for Ben Westwood. There he is, just on the right-hand side. Ratchford giving him a little bit of a G-up, but that is the man there, Ben Westwood. If he can get in 2 or 3 big hits early in the count, Leeds will know they're going to be in for a very tough encounter. And it's the bash and barge from Warrington that could perhaps steal the 2 points.
Well, it's Leeds in their traditional colours. Stevie Ward ready for this challenge. What a season he's having. There is Kevin Sinfield waiting the nod for his coach off the bench. Warrington tonight in bright primrose yellow with a blue V across the chest. It's Leeds against Warrington in the first Utility Super League. I think arguably it is the match of the round in round 12. We crossed the halfway point in the opening 23 rounds. Here we go. Ratchford gets us underway with the kick-off, and Hardacre is underneath it, and the traditional pass inside to Peacock, who take it forward on the first drive. Game on then at Headingley.
Yeah, I can see that the Warrington forwards are really up for it, but that is a very good run indeed. Trying to hold him him down, just slow the pace.
Callum Watkins takes it forward for the Leeds Rhinos, still midway inside his own half of the field. Ayton turns the ball down the right-hand channel to Ablett. That's good tackling by Laithwaite and company. Not Laithwaite, beg your pardon, it's Toby King and company. And here they come again now, the Leeds Rhinos. Almost up to halfway. Last tackle in this opening set of 6. The ball is sprayed across the back line. It's Joel Moon, and that is charged down. And that ball, unfortunately for Richie Myler, goes out of the field of play.
Boy, he took his time about it, didn't he? And Joel Moon, a very relieved man indeed. Well, that was a little bit lackadaisical there.
You know, they haven't had a lot of luck with charges in the last few weeks. We've watched them play. One went against them at Casford, and that never came for them. The try recently, soon after that, for the Tigers. One against Wigan again, and here one to start this match. They need a ball to bounce the way if you want to win in Super League, and clearly it hasn't for the Wolves in recent times.
Interesting to see, though, that in that first attack that we saw from the Rhinos, that they utilised three-quarters to take the ball up. Whether that means they want to give it plenty of air, they don't want to battle down the middle, that is for sure. Because the likes of Hill and Sims and Curry and Westwood and Harrison, it's a big pack.
Hill all over the top of Ash Handley. Cuthbertson will bring the ball forward. Warrington in the tackle, in the wrestle. They are testing the patience already of referee James Child, and he awards the first penalty of the match.
Yeah, it just took a little bit too long about it. Already mentioned the fact that Warrington keen to turn the players, stop that quick play the ball, because they know that Paul Ayton, the hooker from the Rhinos, very, very quick indeed.
Steve, well, that penalty comes about because of what Adam Cuthbertson brings to the party. His offload, you can't hold that ball, you make sure you take him to ground, because if you don't, he could get you.
Here is Danny Maguire. Oh, and he went for a gap and nearly got through it. Flying tackles by the Warrington defenders. Mickey Hyam leading the way. Ayton switches the direction of the attack to Peacock. Short ball then. And here is a chance for Delaney. And Warrington pushing back a metre or two into the field of play. Ayton again showed it to Peacock. Gave it to Singleton. And Singleton gets to the line.
Has he lost it?
No, he's held up. And so he'll take it back 10 metres. And the tackle count will continue.
Oh, it seemed to bobble in there. He did well to get it on the second occasion. Now then, watch for Ayton. Oh, he's just passed it straight away.
Maguire slides the kick in, looking for Cuthbertson. It's grounded in goal by Ben Westwood. Pressure from Leeds, goal line dropout coming up.
Yeah, great little kick through. It's all about just turning the opposition around, and I've said it many times this year already that Danny Maguire taking the responsibility out there. He's obviously the leader and the captain until, of course, Kevin Sinfield comes off the bench, but the responsibility has brought out the real best of Maguire this year.
Well, we've talked about all the records continuously, really, that Kevin Sinfield has got under his belt in his 500th appearance tonight. Maguire needing just 3 points for 1,000 points for the Leeds Rhinos, 2 tries for 250 tries for them as well. So 2015 is a year of milestones for this club.
That's phenomenal, Eddie, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful.
Peacock will drive it in once again. Another man here, Peacock, in his final season as a player, will go to Hull Kingston Rovers as football manager come the end of the campaign. And it's with Sutcliffe now, and he gives it to Maguire. Maguire then finds Hardacre. That's a good tackle low down by Myler. Maguire scampers into dummy half. Here's Cuthbertson. Back he comes again to Liam Sutcliffe. He gets away from one. He gives it to Ablett. Ablett taking them on down the middle. And he's a big man, is Ablett, playing in the centres. Look how many bright yellow jerseys are there to keep him out.
It took 5. That's what it did. Ayton's on his own.
And Ayton gets the ball away somehow to Peacock. Standing Peacock gives it to Maguire. Hoists it out here looking for Handley. Handley claims it, knocks it back, and straight into the arms of Chris Bridge.
Well, it was a beautiful kick to the corner, but you've got to admire the way that Warrington just kept their cool. Nobody went up, nobody went to ensure that they took him in the air. They allowed him to get to it. It was good work by Handley, but the defence there from Warrington, very cool indeed.
And they'll take some encouragement from that defensive stint, I think.
They will do, Eddie. They've conceded a penalty. They've also a repeat set of 6, so they've been defending the line. They've got to get forward here. And when they get to the kick here, they've got to make sure that they chase really hard.
Myler finds Westwood. I don't know whether you noticed the gang tackle on Ashton Sims. Leeds have obviously singled him out as a possible danger man. Ashton Sims. The kick from Myler's not good. Straight into the arms of Hardacre.
No, you've got to do it better than that. You've got to make sure that it hits terra firma, and Tony Smith will be not impressed with that. That's a good run, though, from Moon.
Well, he knows this stadium inside out. Tony Smith, he left here in 2007 after a glittering spell as the coach of the Rhinos. He had 2 years as England coach, then to Warrington in 2009. But can he win here as the Warrington coach for only the second time?
Neat little dummy there by Sutcliffe, but equal to the task. They know the danger from this youngster. Oh, great tackle.
As Hardacre goes down, gets up quickly, plays the ball. Whoops, mistake from Ablett. Was it a mistake from Ablett? The referee hasn't blown the whistle yet. Now he does. It was a knock-on by Ablett. It is, it's the turnover.
Yeah, but the turnover there. Yeah, you could see Ablett thought he had it, but just at a glance. Watch the eyes. Who's in front of me? Got to keep your eye on the ball first.
When the referee didn't blow the whistle, I just wondered if he was giving him the benefit of the doubt that he'd actually made contact with it before it hit the ground. But Stuart, clearly it hadn't.
No, I think he was waiting for a free play to see if Warrington got possession to bring it away. But obviously the knock-on came into play.
This is Ratchford.
And I like to see Ratchford. You know, it's a ploy that Tony Smith utilised with the fullback on a regular basis. You know, when they're put under pressure and they're on red zone, he will jump into dummy half. He's got the pace, he's got the speed, and so has this fella.
Yes, Mickey Hyam goes down, tackle number 4. They go down the left channel again with Ben Curry. Curry then gives it to Toby King, and he gets the ball away to Gene Ormsby. Did well then. Now Declan Patton, we saw some brilliant kicks from him last week. Oh, and that's been knocked back, and this is going to be a gift, is it? And he has touched down as Ben Harrison.
Time off.
Was it a double movement? Did he reach over? Was the ball carrying arm? Did it hit the ground?
So a possible knock-on and a double movement. Stuart, it's over to you again.
Well, first of all onside from the kick. I think this, we get to the challenge. I think it was played by Handley, but I think that goes forward. Or does it touch Monaghan first? Whose hand does it come off? I think that comes off Monaghan. So what direction does it go in? I think we can see. Is it Monaghan's hand that gets to it? It certainly looks like it touches it.
Well, I think Handley gets the palm in front of Monaghan's palm, so therefore it's going to be deemed a Leeds knock-on.
It'll be interesting to see what direction the ball comes away in. Does it go towards the Leeds line, or does it go backwards?
Well, I think it's gone upfield. I think that when you see it, Handley's left palm, now they're seeing whether it's a double movement or not.
Well, must be happy with that.
Oh, it's got to be double movement.
Is he tackled?
Ah, did he have the hand on him? Did Hardacre have any touch of him?
He needs to be held in the tackle. It's what happens at the back end. Has he still got hold of his leg when he's on the floor? It's whether he's held or not here, I think. And I think at that point, well, his hand's on him. His hand's on him at the point where the ball hits the floor.
Well, this should be a penalty to Leeds for double movement.
The problem with this is that, you know, if you play that at normal speed, it will probably look like he breaks the tackle. And on situations like this where you've got double movements, you should be looking at normal speed.
Tries denied for the double movement. And he has said it's a knock-on by the Leeds Rhinos, so they'll bring it back for the head and feet at the scrum to Warrington.
Well, I think on the slow-mo you can see there that Handley has just got the palm in front of Monaghan's palm. I'm not Gypsy Rose Lee, but I'm telling you the palm was the difference, and more pressure for the Rhinos.
It's bad luck this for Warrington, and I think the frustration from the coaching staff, Richard Agar, Tony Smith. Do you know they withstood 5 tough minutes of pressure to start the match at their own end of the field? And Ben Harrison almost got them over for a dream start there. Here they go to the short side. Chris Bridges in great form at present.
Yes, he is, and he gets them to within a metre of the line. And here is a chance for Joel Monaghan. And Leeds are there in numbers to deny the Warrington skipper
Boy, that was great. 6 Rhinos stopped the winger.
Bridge again at dummy half. Here it is with Myler. Myler running laterally, then gives the ball to Patton. He's down a blind alley, Patton, but he somehow gets down there. That's a nice little run from the youngster.
Mickey Hyam on your own. Throw the dummy. Go.
He gives it instead to Myler. Myler then gives it width. Ormsby is fed by Toby King, and again they're there in numbers, Leeds. Myler gives it to Ashton Sims. As the big man have a go.
They're opting for the kick, Eddie.
They've reached the last tackle. They're going down the short side with Curry. Dabs it to the in-goal area. It's a try for Ormsby. What a start for Warrington then. They were on the back foot for almost 5 minutes. They weathered the storm. And then Curry with a beautiful little touch into the corner. Ormsby read the script. He was the man who got there first. And Gene Ormsby gets the try. It's his 3rd try of the season. He only made his first appearance of the season against Wakefield 2 weeks ago.
Neat work on that blind side. And a man that's making a name for himself in the second row of Ben Kerry. That is a beautiful little dink through, and Ormsby knew it. That was a set pattern. No fluke involved in that. And Tony Smith, the Warrington coach, has got to get the message out. Remember, he'll be saying last week we raised to a 10-0 lead. We've got to consolidate and make sure that we look for the kickoff. Not allow Leeds back into this game as yet.
Well, it's gone suddenly quiet at Headingley. The vast majority of the supporters inside this stadium tonight, obviously on the side of the Leeds Rhinos, but Warrington, they have travelled across in numbers, and they will be delighted. The great defensive effort at one end on their own line, and then they got over the line only to be denied by the video referee for a knock-on. Actually, they brought it back for the knock-on by Leeds. And, well, in the next set of 6, they're over for the opening try of the night. And Ratchford here now with the opportunity to try and add the extras. 2 from 4 last week against Wigan. He's been playing exclusively at full-back this year, and he got a try and 3 goals in the win against Leeds at the Halliwell Jones Stadium in March. Well, here's his first shot at goal from that Gene Ormsby try. This for a 6-0 lead. Just pulled it the wrong side of the posts. But Warrington have the first points on the board, 4-0.
Well, Leeds Rhinos have shown how good they are on the left and on the right-hand side when you want to run the ball at them. But you can see that Callum Watkins, he was caught near the play of the ball, so there was no winger. So what does Ben Curry do? He looks up, he plays what's in front of him, he drops the ball onto the foot, and Gene Ormsby scores the opening try. They're there to spoil the party, Eddie.
Yes, they are. Wow, that's a kick-off and a half. It was right up in the air. Myler took it. That went forever.
Yeah, it certainly did. And it looks as though Myler caught a stray knee there. Give him full credit. Got straight up. Get on with it. Well, this will buoy the Wolves, that's for sure. And they're giving it plenty of air. Ormsby out wide. Oh, nearly. Looked as though he used his man for an obstruction there. Got away with it.
That will have done Warrington's confidence the power of good. That's a great offload from Hill to Hyam. And Stevie Ward is there to bring Mickey Hyam to ground. Ratchford at dummy half, looking both ways, electing to come up the middle with Harrison. And Harrison wrestled to the ground by Joel Moon. Westwood. This is the last tackle for Warrington. Just lost the way a minute there. Ratchford hoists it high. Callum Watkins underneath it and misses it.
Simple. There was no one around. No one honking the horn and saying, I'm coming. He had a clear view, nobody near him, and that will not please the coach, Brian McDermott. I don't think the player will be impressed either.
Well, even good players make mistakes, and Callum Watkins, it's how we will recover from that. Brian McDermott will know that wasn't good enough from his side, but wasn't there a bit of hesitation in that last set of 6? What they did with the ball, bringing it away, they looked very good. Then the last play, when they can buy cheap meters, you've got to give it to the man who can kick the ball.
Well, here come Warrington again with Toby King. He goes up the middle and is halted by Stevie Ward. Here now is Ashton Sims again. It's a solid run again from the big prop forward, the Fijian international. It's with Myler. Myler with a flat pass. It's a great charge onto the ball by Westwood. Quick play the ball, that's what they wanted. Ratchford to Myler again. And Myler is halted by Peacock. This is great pressure from the Warrington Wolves. Hyam into the middle to Hill. And Hill underneath the sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Leeds players around him.
They need the dummy runner here. No, they've gone for the kick again. Too strong.
Patton just got it slightly wrong.
Well, there'll be a relieved man. Callum Watkins races to take the first tap. Got away with it.
That's a compliment, though, isn't it, to Leeds Rhinos' defence, that the first try that they scored, or the try that they scored was from a kick, and then that play again looking for a kick because they couldn't break Leeds down.
Cuthbertson will play the ball.
He was also complaining to James Child, the official. He thought that he was being held down a little bit too long for his liking, not to the man with the whistle. But that's the way that Warrington have approached this game. They're trying to turn them around and just slow it down, and it's working. See, that's a big hit, Harrison on Peacock.
Well, a 25-point win against St Helens last week. Rare win for any Leeds team by that margin, but a significant result by any standard. Here's a high kick that Ratchford is safe underneath, and he gets a brilliant ball away to Monaghan. It's a good job that Joel Moon was there. Ratchford again will make progress from dummy half.
Boy, they're quick, they're smarter, Warrington, at the moment. Look at that, they want to get on with the game. This is good work there by Mickey Hyam. So valuable meters forward. They're catching Leeds out slightly on that first and second marker. I get the impression, Eddie, that Leeds are just getting into that little bit of a habit where they're doing more talking to the official rather than get themselves organised in defence.
Ashton Sims once again for Warrington. Just over halfway, they've reached the 5th tackle, so here's the last. And Myler, well, he shaped a kick, and Ward was waiting for the kick. He's got support here from Harrison. Harrison hammers it towards the corner, looking for Joel Monaghan. Race for Monaghan, and he wins the race. Joel Monaghan with a second try for Warrington in the opposite corner.
Oh, controversial, this one. There looked to be a forward pass. It was ignored by the officials, and the two touch judges take nothing away from the Wolves. They've done it again. They raced away last week to a convincing lead. Well, this is amazing. He was shaping up there, was Richie Myler, to go for the first kick. Then he kicked it through, but the build-up to that, surely there was something to be worried about. I think it was that kick to this one here.
I don't know how long the Warrington forwards spend kicking the ball through, but we've seen 2 of the best tries from kicks so far this season. Ben Curry on the left-hand side of the field. It's a very difficult skill when you're about to be tackled. There's the pass. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Mike. That's a legitimate pass, in my opinion. The ref agrees, and the kick is absolutely brilliant. Well, the ball comes out of his hands, come backwards.
The referee has agreed, but if you see from here, I reckon there's a bit of doubt. Oh,
I think
very much
it comes out of the hands okay. It's just a bit of momentum, Mike, that's drifted it forward.
Oh, well, at least I can get out of the Leeds car park tonight. You may struggle.
They love you here.
Yeah.
Monaghan has found his scoring touch. He's moved back to the wing recently, and that's 3 in a row. 3 tries in 3 for Joel Monaghan. 8-0. This for a 10-0 scoreline. And it's exactly the scoreline then, if he kicks this, that they had at Wigan last week, but they couldn't hold on to it then. The South Standers, I think, Steve-O, agreed with your version of events, but you and they don't matter. It's that man there, James Child, and his touch judges. He's missed another as Ratchford. 8-0 then, Warrington.
Eddie, but there's some good signs, isn't there, for Warrington. Stephen Ratchford at the back, Richie Myler taking control, the forwards dealing with the Leeds Rhinos set of 6, and when Ben Harrison kicks that ball, everyone turns round laughing at him.
You can see from that shot that the first 2 or 3 metres of that pass have gone sideways, so that's fine.
Well, look, it's in the books now. It is a score for Joel Monaghan. Let's get on with it.
Eddie, right across the board, this team's building this Warrington side. So as Phil said, you've got two forwards that have set up the tries from kicks. You've got the forwards getting over the advantage line, which they weren't doing early on. And you've got the forwards, the half-backs, running at the defensive line. They are always very good signs, then.
Yeah, and they've been adventurous. That's the most important factors on the Wolves side. They're not worried about giving this ball plenty of air. Remember when the kick, there was a kick downfield when Ratchford took it. Quite happy with about 2 metres from his own goal line to offload. This has been very impressive by Warrington.
It's a good kick again from Patton. Don't forget, we have Catalan Dragons against Hull Kingston Rovers for you live from Perpignan tomorrow, 4:55 on Sky Sports 3. Barry Terry and Bill Arthur will be your commentary team for that. I think Stuart goes as well to join in the commentary on that one.
That was a tremendous kick, wasn't it, by Declan Patton? Just shows you now it's leaving Leeds a little leeway and having to come down the middle. We're already on the third tackle. Barely got 22 metres forward.
Frustration for the Leeds Rhinos. They are looking sideways all the time at referee James Child, and they have to settle that down.
Well, 6 weeks ago, Warrington managed to beat Leeds. It was the first defeat of the season for the Rhinos, but significantly, the fullback for Leeds on that occasion wasn't Zach Hardacre. Tonight, I think he's the biggest threat as we see the Leeds side under a little bit of pressure. 8 points behind, kick taken there by Joel Monahan, but I'm looking at some point in this game for Zach Hardacre, the fullback, to have a significant influence on how Leeds go on and score.
Myler from dummy half into centre field to Ratchford.
Well, it wasn't the best kick from the Rhinos, was it? And I suppose in many ways, a lot of the Leeds fans, they'll be thinking, when's Brian McDermott going to throw on Mr. 500 man, Kevin Sinfield? His kicking could be important when he arrives. Oh, great run again from Hyan. That looked dodgy too.
Sims gets up, plays the ball to Hyan. Here is Myler. And he goes down in a three-man tackle.
Good to see Myler taking on, asking the questions.
This will go high off Patton's boot. Now on, Hardacre's underneath this. He pouches it safely. He heard Curry coming.
Should have been a penalty. Never tried to get away from it. Well, the Bull boys underneath is Eddie. They're trying their damnedest to convince James Child, the official.
Good run, this, but it's all lateral, I'm afraid. He's hanging on to it, though, Hanley. Moon. Peacock. Warrington moving up very, very quickly to cut the options down, but that's a good offload by Peacock to Hardacre. Here goes Watkins. He gets the ball back to Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe looking to get an opening through this solid Warrington defence on halfway.
And the key to that defence, Ed, is that no one's coming out of the line when it's Leeds are being forced to pass the ball, but they're not going forward. It's just going from side to side. And that's because no one's jumping out. They're moving as a unit. Boy, they must have worked hard under Tony Smith this week.
Well, they've been on Sky this season 6 times. They've only won 1, and that was against Leeds at home on the 13th of March. So Tony Smith knows the importance of this match better than anybody. Back in his own old stomping ground, of course, where he had such glorious days with Leeds. And Brian McDermott, his opposite number, he was Smith's understudy, first at Huddersfield, then here at Leeds. That's a good job that Hanley got to that.
He took a huge gamble. He knew that if he didn't get a fingertip to that, Eddie, the wing was away. There's no way in the world they were going to stop Monahan here.
They're creating numbers, Andy. They're creating numbers. They're creating opportunities on the edge.
Do you think Chris Bridge got a bit nervous then when he saw Hash Hanley try and just tap that ball up? If he watched back last week when he almost turned the game, didn't he? Centella's attacking early in the match, and that length of the field interception really did set the tone and the mood that the Rhinos were in, then going on to score some magnificent tries. I guess it was inevitable. They couldn't be that good 2 weeks in a row. All 2 passes have gone down. They've run to the sideline once or twice. They're not in the same groove at present.
Looking to get back into it if they can. Toby King gets the ball away to Patton once again. He tries to resist the initial challenge from Ward. Couldn't do. Hyan. Sims bumps one tackle off. Look at him trying to work hard to regain his feet, which he does now. Here is Hill.
And again, we see the influence of Mickey Hyam. He wants to get on with it. There's going to be a penalty, is it, or a knock-on?
It's a penalty.
Yeah.
Adam Cuthbertson, hands in on the ball.
Yeah, didn't release it. You can see quite clearly there. Well spotted by the official. Helped by the touch judge on that far side. More pressure. Well, it's an impressive start, Eddie, from Warrington. They're really up for this. They're keen.
They are. As I say, they had nearly 5 minutes on their own line, and the last 15, 16 minutes or so, they've been up the other end and examining this Leeds defence, and they've prodded their way through twice.
Well, they've had the ball 10 times, haven't made a single mistake or error yet in possession. That's certainly helped them to build some pressure.
Hyam, back it comes to Hill. He's halted by Singleton up top and Delaney downstairs. Goes the short side, and here is Ben Curry with a good run again from Ben Curry, and again, numbers, sheer weight of numbers beat him. Sims, it's easy!
Anybody at home? The answer is N-O. No. Great work by Warrington. Build up superb.
Ashton Sims, the Fijian international, who had some heavy traffic coming at him earlier on in the match. He goes over for only his second try of the campaign.
And it all comes about by trying to get on with it, and that was the hand from Cuthbertson. Gave them the extra, and that is a defensive pattern that one Brian McDermott will call a horror movie. What on earth were the Rhinos doing there? Anybody there? There must have been 4 down on their knees. That's poor communication. Good try, though, from the big fella. Warrington are just absolutely controlling this game. Leeds, they haven't had a looking.
Well, he was a substitute in the last 2 matches, Ashton Sims. He was prop in the first 10. Back in the starting lineup tonight, and you might remember if you were with us in March, he really didn't take a backward step against Leeds on that occasion, and he hasn't taken a backward step thus far tonight. Well, Ratchford has missed with his first 2 kicks at goal, but I think I'd even put Steve-O's mortgage on this, that Ratchford from almost bang in front will slot this one over, and Warrington will have a pretty impressive 14-point advantage. Takes his time, weighs things up. No problem at all. And 14 points to 0 it is to the Warrington Wolves at the home of the league leaders. Clear league leaders too before tonight.
Well, this is the view for Ashton Sims, and he will give a big pat on the back to Ben Curry. He run at the line, his footwork got all the Leeds Rhinos players interested. He left players on the ground, which created the gap near the edge and near the post. And Ashton Sims, well, that's all you want from your prop forward. Pick a line, stick to it, and crash over that line.
Well, I just wonder when, as Steve-O said earlier, when Brian McDermott will make the change and bring Kevin Sinfield on. It, at the moment, looks like being a pretty damp squib, his 500th appearance for this club, but there's a long way to go yet. 25 minutes gone, 14-0, and Hyam going for a 40-20 attempt here, and I think he's got it. I think he's got it.
He's been brilliant. He's having a wow of a game. 40-20. He's controlled things in and around the ruck. Boy, he's on fire. And again, you know, very slow work from the first, second marker from Leeds. They're not applying any sort of pressure at all. I mean, he had all the time in the world to pick it up from dummy half, look to see where it was going, and gives himself a 40-20.
This is a massive 60 seconds here now. Warrington 14 ahead. Take it to 20, and there's a massive amount of pressure then on their opponents. Playing at home in front of a big expectant crowd with a special significant match. They've got a fantastic opportunity because they're getting a lot of time at this end of the field. The field position's heavily in favour now of Warrington. Can they turn it more into points?
Bridge just took that first tackle from Danny Maguire. Warrington then line up across the field. Westwood takes tackle number 2. Hyam inside, it comes to Myler. Myler attacking the line. And that was round the collar from Cuthbertson. He got the benefit of the doubt. Hyam will have another little dab at the line. They are running the show here. And Westwood bounces off one, tries to bounce off two, and goes down eventually on the Leeds Rhinos line. And Sims scampers in at dummy half.
He's lost it. He's tried to reach out with the right arm and knocked on. Well, it was worth the try. When you're leading 14-0, watch the right arm. It went close. Just a sheer weight of Ward going across it. He'll probably say, and obviously Tony Smith will say, well, why wasn't there someone there before it? They were very slack. They should have had someone to play the ball. It was only that Sims came in very, very late.
There we go.
We knew it was going to be on.
Well, Paul Layton's eyeballing somebody.
I think it was Ashton Sims. I think was it Hyam or was it
Ashton Sims goes to break it up. You can see Mickey Hyam at the back saying, "What, me, sir?"
Widnes 6 up at St Helens. You might have noticed Huddersfield are leading at Hull in tonight's other matches. Have the tries from those when we have finished here this evening.
Ooh, a bit of rutting, I think they call it.
He drops underneath. He drops underneath Paul Layton. Mickey Hyam, that's what it is. He gets underneath him, he comes up, and obviously Paul Layton takes exception to it.
Yeah, time off. Yeah. Look, I'm just going to sort this out. Just get in the scrum and get out. Okay, no messing about. All right?
Delaney and King, the two culprits, according to touch judge and referee.
Well, it's a smart move to put Ayton away from the front row and that occasion get him mixed up. But this is tremendous by Warrington. They are in full control. Leeds just have not had any good field position. Maybe 2 or 3 in the opening 5-10 minutes. But other than that, just not at the park.
Do you know, have a little look at Paul Layton when he gets behind dummy half. He's trying to get some urgency within his forwards. He wants them to run onto the ball. He wants them to run tight. Go short side here with Carl Ablett. He's looking for that quick play of the ball because he knows they're losing that battle in the midfield at the minute, and he has nothing to play off at the minute.
Callum Watkins, dummy half this time. Here it's now with Cuthbertson again. He gets the ball away to Peacock. A good offload from him to Maguire, and a good offload from Maguire as well. Ball comes in field. It's a penalty to Leeds. It was Church who got on the end of the pass. It's a penalty though because someone was tackled without the ball.
Yeah, once you get on with it, Maguire realises that they've got to take full advantage of a very good field position.
Well, that was Leeds' best moment for 20 minutes. Here is Church now. Another good run from him.
And it's getting tasty out there. There's a lot of verbals.
Cuthbertson gets the ball away. Peacock. Sheer weight of numbers now beating Jamie Peacock. Ayton will try and burrow his way over the line.
Held up. Boy, that was a
penalty.
That was a wonderful tackle on Peacock by Ben Westwood.
Ben Westwood was penalised for being not square at the play of the ball. So 2 penalties and Leeds in possession, 10 metres away. Cuthbertson drives the ball in. Coming up to the half-hour mark. Ayton, short ball. Over the line again. Is Church held up this time? They'll take it back to the 10-metre line once more.
Got to be a man-on-man marking from Warrington, and you can see they've got it pretty well set up.
Okay, go.
Ayton again, this time to Maguire, and Hardacre.
Myler's defence has been outstanding as well.
Stevie Ward. And there are 4 there to push him back into the field of play as well.
And that's the second time Myler's been involved.
Bridge was trapped. And Hardacre.
There's not one Warrington player was onside, Eddie.
Play on this. It's with Moon. That's flicked up in the air. It finds its way to Ablett. 6 to go. They'll come back.
Knocked it off.
They'll come back. Come back for the first offence. It was the free play.
But he knows they should have taken full advantage of that. Ablett did well to get it offload. Maybe striking forward. Don't want to be too harsh on this fella, Callum Watkins.
His 150th career appearance tonight, by the way. It's almost gone unnoticed with the 500 under the belt of Kevin Sinfield.
I really think, Eddie, that seasons can be made in moments like this, you know. If Warrington can withstand another set of 6 and go on to win this game, this could be a defining moment and match, certainly, in the season for them. The year hasn't gone well so far, a lot of criticism, but they could turn it all around here if they hold them out and go on to win, but they have to hold out right now.
Maguire gets the ball away to Hardacre.
He's lost it.
He has lost it. Bridge was all over him. Here goes Monaghan. And that's the 0 tackle because he got over the advantage line, and here's a penalty for hands in now.
And also it was very, very scrappy. It hasn't been a highlight from Leeds tonight in the way that they've been caught out with quick play of the balls. You can see there that perhaps Bridge, either way it was one-on-one, so it went backwards.
Line, guys. On his foot. Wait. Okay.
They're so eager, aren't they, Warrington? They really have shown up.
One. Move.
Yes, they'll be stinging after that defeat at Wigan last week. Anthony England.
2. Move it on. Wait. Got 2.
And Darryl Clark is out there now as well. Well, he saw the gap, did Deck Patton. Nearly got through it. Ayton is belligerent. Asatazi, and he loses it. And Cuthbertson will pick it up. And he knows it's the free play, that's why he put the kick in.
It'll come back.
Asatazi's first involvement. Loses the ball.
And again, we see a forward trying to fend off a would-be defender with the ball carrying arm.
Okay, guys.
Well, he'll be very pleased with the opening 33 minutes. Started on the back foot, but then really quickly got on the front foot, and they'll be pleased too, St Helens. They were 6 down, and they're now 12-6 up.
Steve-O, some players, I know what you're saying, but some players love going in and using that ball, do you know, as the bumper to try and ride a player. Probably when I was looking at that play, then I'm looking for Adam Cuthbertson maybe to engage contact and offload it instead of kicking the ball through. That's what you call one of those wasteless plays.
I think the disappointing thing for Brian McDermott is not only their defence around the play-the-ball area, but their inability to break the first line of defence so they can get a quick play of the ball. Warrington are doing a good job of keeping them down.
Good ball. Sutcliffe too. Oh, again another knock on by Maguire. It was a good ball to Stevie Ward originally.
Well, they're going to score some of the most spectacular tries this season, if not the best. But at times it won't stick, as it hasn't tonight, and I suppose that's the beauty of them. You have to ride it with them. The supporters are hoping they start to stick soon, though, and they get some points on the board. Warrington, likewise, knowing that they have to keep on playing. You made the point earlier on, Steve, that they're not being conservative, Warrington, moving the ball around, trying a variety of different attacking options. Have to continue. They can't get nervous now because they've got a 14-point lead.
Well, I think with less than 6 minutes to go to the half-time break, I think that Brian McDermott perhaps would just want to get his side getting back into simple basics. You know, utilising the forwards, getting a good position, and then getting a good kick. Turn Warrington around. They've failed to do that.
Worth making the point that in nearly a game and a half now this season, Leeds Rhinos have only scored 1 try against Warrington. Against all the other opposition, well, they scored 5 at least. So that just shows the measure of this Warrington performance thus far tonight.
Maybe they've got the magic formula, Eddie.
Maybe
they
so.
don't know exactly where they've got to target them, who they can get at, who they can beat.
That kick from Patton was... Oh, it's offside, accidental offside, he says, so he's going to put the scrum down because the kick, well, it was risky by Patton, and then...
Yeah, it came off Ayton, and then as soon as Sutcliffe touched it, or the ball touched Sutcliffe, there you see it, he tried to get away from it, but it hit the boot. Well spotted by James Child. Well, not the best start by the home side.
I would think Brian McDermott will want this next 4.25 minutes to go and let him get at his players, because
well, they thought
the shadow of the team that played last week at St Helens.
Well, the thing is, Eddie, they haven't had possession. They've had poor field position, but most of the time has been Warrington. And I know it's, you know, you can feel that it's a stunned crowd, isn't it? I know there's a group of people way down in Guernsey, and they are absolute mad Rhino fans, and they'll be struggling to find out what's gone wrong with them tonight.
Darryl Clark will play the ball to Patton, and here is Richie Myler. Back it comes then from him to Ratchford. He just applied the brakes, and Moon then was left stretching and clutching at him. They get him down in the end. Clark once more on the short side with Myler. Kick from Myler, looking for Monaghan again in the corner, only finding touching goal. 20-metre restart.
Yeah, the idea was good, just a little bit too strong.
That your digs organised for Guernsey, by the way, is it?
Well, if there's anybody listening in Jersey, I suppose...
Oh, Jersey now, is it?
Oh, yeah, well...
all the silly isles are watching.
Oh, I love those cows.
Wait. Go.
Peacock now for the Rhinos. The ball comes free. And 6 to go.
Yeah, Westwood got a hand to that one.
The 14 points behind Leeds. Jamie Peacock's looking to offload the ball to his teammate, but I just look back at what they did when they played against Hull FC in that second half. They look like they're panicking at the minute, the Rhinos. Obviously Warrington are playing very well, but Leeds Rhinos, this is how you play.
That's a great run from Cuthbertson. Maguire's arriving, Ablett's there as well. Couldn't get the pass away. Wants to get a quick play the ball in, which he does to Maguire. Here is Ward, and Ward goes himself, gets the ball to Handley. Great defence from Warrington.
Unbelievable. That is outstanding for to say they got so many players back.
Well, there's a problem with Joel Moon. Look at this run. Keep going, lad. Look at the technique there from Adam Cuthbertson. Rides the tackle, gets up. They think they've got him on the left.
Try-saving tackle from Ratchford. Here's Maguire. Handley, oh, great stuff. That was Hardacre's quick hands, and they get it out wide to Watkins. First try for Leeds.
That was outstanding. A fabulous finish. And the final pass was out of the top drawer.
First time in 2 years right now he's on the wing. He was there last week. He got 2 tries against Warrington at Wembley in 2012. That's his 7th try of the season for the England international. And he's marked his 150th career appearance with a try that gets Leeds back into this match.
They went very, very close, didn't they, Ash Handley? It was tremendous stuff. They got him in and took the position. It was Cuthbertson with the break that got them there. And they kept the ball alive. They tested. Oh, Ablett's final pass. And look at the crowd. They're in raptures. They had to be. They've been completely outplayed up until that moment when Ablett has created a sensational fight-back try. And he knows it. He's had an indifferent start to this game. But that'll settle the nerves and lift the spirits as they go in at half-time.
There's a legendary Leeds winger watching here tonight, John Atkinson. I'm sure he would have appreciated the finish of that. In fact, he's one of the 3 people who've ever played over 500 games, along with Kevin Sinfield for this great club, and I'm sure he would have delighted with the way that Callum Watkins took that chance, the way they transferred the ball from one side of the field to the other, and then a classic winger's finish.
So Liam Sutcliffe then, it's a difficult kick for his first conversion attempt of the night. And he's pulled it way, way wide in front of the posts. But at least Brian McDermott's men are on the board. Sinfield waiting his chance still on the bench. His team are 14-4 down.
I'm pretty certain that Brian McDermott will ensure that the captain of this club, and that is Kevin Sinfield, of course, the club captain, I'm sure that he will trot them out at the start of the second stanza. I think they need him, to be fair, but what a time to score the try just before the hooter. You talk about building in confidence and lifting the spirits. That certainly does that.
Hardacre's underneath the kick-off, takes the responsibility on his own shoulders.
Surrender! Stand!
Well, he's trying to stand, he will say, as the referee shouted stand, and it was, of course, that was the call to the defenders. Last half minute of the first half. Maguire pokes his nose through the line. Westwood brings him down.
Warrington cannot just slacken off, even though there's only a few seconds left. They've got to make sure that they get into the half without any further score from the home side. The defence has been good up until that try.
Moving it quickly again. More quick hands from Ablett. Oh, and Hardaker's pass wasn't the best anyway to Watkins. There's the half-time siren. Hardaker pass had it stuck. Got to Watkins. He was drifting forward anyway. They might have been over for a second try right on the stroke of half-time. But it's Warrington who take a 10-point lead with them into the dressing rooms at half-time. They had 5 minutes of intense pressure on their line. Then they broke out Ormsby's try, followed by another in the other corner from Monaghan. Sims crashed over close to the posts, and Watkins' try right at the end of the half give Leeds hope. Well, there's a huge night of live pay-per-view boxing coming up on Saturday the 2nd of May. Tomorrow week, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao battle it out at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. For Connected Sky customers, the easiest way to book this fight is with your remote control. Simply go to channel 491 if you're an SD customer and 492 for those with HD. Booking with your remote is the only way to add the event to your Sky planner, and you'll only be charged if you watch it. Cable customers, well, you should contact your operator. More details, go to skysports.com/Maypack. So big night of boxing coming up on Sky Sports. And talking of boxing, there is the man himself, the reigning British, Commonwealth and European featherweight champion, Josh Warrington, on the pitch at half-time. He was featured on Sky recently with his fight at the Leeds Arena. Vinnie Jones carried his belt into the ring that night. Jamie Peacock has done it previously. There he is, Josh Warrington, the only Warrington that Leeds fans will chant for in this city is Josh, the reigning champion. And it's half-time in the first utility match between Leeds and Warrington Wolves. Leeds 4, Warrington 14. The try from Callum Watkins just before the half-time break, giving Leeds hope, but Warrington have been the dominant force throughout. Defensively strong, and in attack, quicksilver. 14 points to 4. So what does Kevin Sinfield say to Maguire and Sutcliffe? He is leading the discussion at the moment. They lost 18-6 at Warrington in March. They were 18-0 down with 25 minutes to go. Despite that, they're 10 points clear of the Wolves coming into this match and into this showdown, which probably explains why Warrington are on the top of their game. 10 points, perhaps you can make it up. 12, and you would be, well, you'd be left in the wake of the Rhinos, really, after 12 rounds of the first 23 of this season. Let's get the thoughts in the first half from Brian and John.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie. 23 is the magic number. After 23 minutes of this game, the Warrington Wolves had completed at 100%, made no errors, scored 3 tries and led 14-0 against the Leeds Rhino. It is not the scoreline we expected at the 23-minute mark, John, but they were flawless in the way they attacked this Leeds Rhino side.
That's correct, and Terry O'Connor mentioned in commentary, maybe they've got the magic formula. There's no magic about that, and that's what it was. It was completing your sets and forcing Leeds as well, because we're making errors. And not completing sets. By the 20-minute mark, Leeds had made 28 more tackles than their opposition, equivalent to 4 or 5 sets.
Well, 8 minutes in, John, they got tested truly by Gene Ormsby on the right-hand side with his first, on the left-hand side, I should say, with his first. It was a dream start
for Warrington, wasn't it? But hard work as well. Now, this is a well-crafted play, I think. When you look at this, and we've broken this down, the kicker for Warrington is Dekpan. He's becoming the last couple of weeks a very important member of the Warrington side. You can understand, therefore, why Zach Hardaker is sitting on the open side as well. There are a couple of things that do go wrong with it. Your late retreat here in Paul Ayton slips just as he gets to the line. But once Warrington choose to go on that short side, and they've held Zach Hardaker, just pick him up again for you, on this open side, they know that whatever play they run now, because if they go to the line, I'll just take that back just a second to just before the kick and give you what the defence is looking at. The defence have got no option here. Ayton, had he not slipped, would have been there. And the Leeds players have to do that, because at that point they think there's a pass option.
And the winger Callum Watkins has found himself in field.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to adjust. Had it not been for Ayton's fall, they would have had numbers there. But what it does say, and this is why I think it's a crafted play, they keep Hardaker out of the picture open. They've got an area, if you imagine that highlighted area going right the way to the touchline. If the kick's good, they've got every chance of going in unchallenged, and that's exactly what they did. Well-crafted play, and that's in direct contrast to what we saw next and what we started to see.
That was on 8 minutes. This is on 15 minutes. Again, the second row putting a kick in.
And here's Richie Myler, so the intended kicker to start with. At first, I looked at this at the first instance, and I thought Stevie Ward had got his kick pressure wrong. But actually, Stevie Ward's very well entitled to see Ayton on his inside and think he's going to provide some pressure from the inside as well. Now, just keep your eye on the second man we mentioned, Paul Ayton, because a momentary switch off, a momentary lapse, opens up that gap, and Myler reacts and goes through pretty much unchallenged, gets the ball away to Harrison, and of course, the rest we saw. Jubilant scenes. I think Harrison, if he could have had another 100 attempts at that, he wouldn't be able to get that.
A lot of craft and talent in those tries, and skill in those tries. The last one, not taking any away from Ashton Sims. If there is an easy try in a rugby league field, you would imagine this would be one of them.
He's already got his hand up as Ashton Sims because he sees what happens. This is what we're talking about. When an opposition is completing at the rate they're completing, the error rate is so low, the fatigue has started to set in Leeds. Leeds aren't missing tackles. It's the fatigue that's setting in. So have a look at the two guys who we've highlighted for you. Cuthbertson and Stevie Ward under the sticks.
Cuthbertson's just given away the penalty and walking.
And that's not goal line defence, is it? There's very little talk between them, and the gap they leave on goal, that's criminal.
And funnily, you can find some energy when you need it. It was Cuthbertson's break, John, that led to Leeds field position, that led to Callum Watkins' try 3 minutes before the end of the first half. That's given them a chance in this game.
Talked about initial contact last night regarding Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, much improved from them after the end of that game. Anthony England, initial contact on Mitch Achurch, gets it wrong. Because of that, Laithwaite pulls in as well to help out his teammate, and then a little bit of quick thinking and offload through Carl Ablett. I thought has been very, very good in the centres, deputising for Callum Watkins.
And covered, hence Cuthbertson not passing the ball.
But the real bit of magic was this pair of hands from Carl Ablett. Now, we has played a lot in the centres, but it's not his favoured position. I think that's fantastic, and that's well worthy of the try. That does get, I suppose, tempers the mood and the atmosphere in that dressing room at half-time, because that would have been very difficult listening for a lot of those players.
Yep, unconverted. 14 points to 4. Warrington Wolves in the box seat, but beware the wounded rhinos, Eddie.
Absolutely, yes indeed. And the crowd here being entertained at half-time by Chloe Beth Hamer, the daughter of John Hamer, the former Bradford prop forward. He still serves on the disciplinary committee, by the way. He had one game in Super League for the Bulls in the opening season of 1996, but he had many years service to the Bradford club pre-Super League. And that's his lovely daughter, Chloe Beth, who is entertaining the crowd during the half-time break. So Leeds with it all to do in the second half, trailing here by 10 points to the Warrington Wolves.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Betting on the races with Betfair couldn't be simpler. Just pick a race, pick a horse, and place your bet. It's as simple as tap, tap, boom. This is play. This is Betfair. Download the app today.
£205. Save £212. Save £218. Puppets, let's rock and roll.
Now get your free Brian toy when you buy car or home insurance through...
Ready yourselves! You've honored me with your trust! I honor you with my faith! God is with us!
Exodus. Get it first on digital HD now.
1, 2, 3, 4. Made with love to a Belgian recipe. C'est cidre, not cider.
This Saturday, it's a Lotto double rollover. Whatever your dream, play makes it possible.
For better or worse, you'll get through.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of Rugby League on Sky Sports.
So waiting for the second half to start here. Leeds ahead by Warrington ahead by 14 points to 4. Let's get it right. Leeds 4, Warrington 14, and Phil Clark's here now with all the other stats from that first half.
Well, Leeds not only scored less points, they had less ball than their opponents. Just look at the top side there. They've had twice as much action over to that end, attacking Declan Patton and Toby King over there on the far side where Callum Watkins is playing. When they turn it over their opponents, well, not only have they had more of the ball, 70 play the balls, but just look how much more time they've spent attacking closer to Leeds' try line. That dominance in territory has certainly given them more points to start with, but can they do it for a second 40?
Well, that's the big question. And when you think Leeds have won 17 and drawn 1 of 22 encounters against Warrington here. Warrington, of course, 4 wins. They could easily make it 5 here this evening. Well, I just wonder, Steve-O, we were talking during the half-time break. Remember Hull? They were 12-0 down at Hull, the Rhinos. They scored 43 unanswered points.
Yeah, and to be fair, you know, Hull played well in that first 40 minutes, but Leeds, they were more intent and complaining to the official, talking all the time, not rolling up the sleeves and getting the job done. And I'm sure that Brian McDermott would have done the same thing, but it has surprised me that the coach has not allowed Sinfield to lead them out right at half-time, because if ever he needed the crowd to lift, he would have done it. To see him trot out, this crowd would have gone bananas, and that's what they need. They need to lift it.
Coming to the end of this first set of 6 with Warrington in possession in this second half. They've reached the 5th tackle. Here comes the last, so they're looking for the kicker, and Patton is the man. Straight down the middle and into the arms of Zach Hardacre. Half-time news. It's from Rod Studd tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Well, Tony Smith, very pleased with the first 3 quarters of that first half, and I stress first 3 quarters because in the last 10 minutes he felt Warrington got panicky and sloppy, especially with their kicking game, and that allowed Leeds to get back into things. And he made the point, they know exactly how dangerous this Leeds Rhinos side are, and they want to make sure they don't invite them back into the game. As far as Leeds concerned, frustrating first half for Brian McDermott and his coaching staff. That Watkins try has given them something to build on, and the key here is to make sure they don't go panicking and chasing the game too quickly. Kevin Sinfield, Steve-O alluded to that. Well, the key here is that they don't want to let sentiment get into the decision of this 500th appearance if
and when it finally arrives.
Thanks, Rod. You notice Saints 12 apiece against Widnes and Huddersfield 16-0 up at Hull FC. And, well, those matches continuing on. Here it is the Warrington Wolves who are in possession. They're defending this 10-point advantage. And Leeds looking to start the second half in a positive mood, the way they ended the first 40. But Warrington, as Rod said, in no mood to let that happen. Good run from Asatazi.
It'd be interesting to see whether Warrington close things down, but that's the way that we want to see from Clark.
Great run from Clark, great offload to Ratchford, and Ratchford with the speed, and he gets the ball away to Curry, and Curry scores a wonderful, wonderful Warrington try. Darryl Clark with a dash from dummy half, something that Steve-O was calling for him to do in the pre-match build-up to this game. He had the Leeds defence at 6s and 7s, Ratchford took it on them with his pace, and Curry with the support, and Curry gets over for the try, and that could be a killer blow.
What a wonderful effort from Warrington, and this is what made him such a popular player for Castleford last year. Running from the dummy half, he was well supported by Ratchford. Kerry then finishes it off. This is the reason why he got picked for England last year. His ability to just run quickly, pick it up one-handed, get the support play. Tremendous try. Wonderful offload, Ratchford. Three-quarter, nothing wrong with the pass. You could see the formulation of the hand spinning around. Oh, that's wonderful support.
5 tries in the last 5 now for Ben Curry. He's on top form, this young man. He really is. In the centres against Leeds in March, he made 31 tackles that night. He started all 12 prior to this evening, including the World Club Series. And operating in the second row tonight, it's a fabulous try. And this will be another 2 points to the Warrington total, and it's a big, big hill for Leeds to climb now. 20 points to 4, Warrington.
9 times out of 10, when hookers go from dummy half, there's either a man on the floor and there's a man not set at marker. And Adam Guthbertson's the man who's guilty on this occasion. Darryl Clark, when he gets out, it's the soft hands, it's the nice little offload to Stephen Ratchford. The no panic, just buy a bit of time and pop that ball up to Ben Curry. What an amazing start for Warrington, Eddie, in this second half.
Great start for Warrington, the sort of start that Leeds wanted, the sort of start that Leeds got at Hull. And maybe that was at the back of Warrington's mind. Don't let them get on the front foot against us. So, was that the big game changer, the big turning point? Was that the one that puts Leeds to bed? We shall see. Here's Westwood.
Oh, don't write the Rhinos off yet, Eddie. And here comes the man.
And here goes Clark again, and Myler in support. Couldn't get the pass away. Important tackle by Danny Maguire.
Well, it looks like Tony Smith has taken the cuffs off. The wonderful hooker, Darryl Clark. Go for your life. And again, he just caused all sorts of problems to this Leeds defence. Kicks into the corner.
Patton's kick wide, looking for Joel Monaghan. He finds Monaghan, and Moon and company see to it that there is no way through for Chris Bridge. Kevin Sinfield is ready to come on. He'll be on in a few moments' time. In fact, here he comes.
You know, you couldn't script it better for him, could you? Come on for your 500th game. I was going to say 50th then. I don't know, it's on the end. Your team are 16 points behind, just over half an hour to go. If they go on to win this, well, I mean, he's already a legend at this club, but he'd become immortal, really, wouldn't he, on that? Maybe his voice is more important now than his physical actions, how he can direct and influence the rest of the team rather than necessarily the running and plays that he comes up with.
Here he is, first touch on his 500th, finds Maguire. Maguire spreads it wide to Moon. He goes through the first challenge of Myler, can't get past the next. Handley was waiting on the wing, instead he comes into dummy half, and it's a kick downfield from Danny Maguire, which will bounce harmlessly into the arms of Stephen Ratchford.
Oh, that was wonderful play from both sides, especially with Joel Monaghan. He went in, came off the touchline, made sure that Moon couldn't get any further, but as soon as he got to his feet, he knew that it was going to be on the last, the kick was coming, and he was shouting for the fullback, get into the corner, cover it, made it.
Sinfield on for Brett Delaney. There's Darrell Clark at dummy half again. Passes the ball this time to Ben Westwood. Westwood gets Warrington to halfway. Clark once again. He's only touched the ball 3 or 4 times. He's caused panic every time he's had the ball in hand. Darrell Clark, the man of steel. Nice kick from Myler. Lovely kick.
Oh, look at the chase there. Myler controlling. I agree with Tony Smith as well. They really had this game wrapped up until about 10 minutes in that first half with as they went to the break. Okay, they allowed Watkins that try. But what an effort.
Wait, fellas. Wait.
Ayton at dummy half. In it comes to Peacock. Goes through Westwood. Westwood holding on to him. And there was Anthony England round his ankles. It's with Maguire now, and here's Cuthbertson. Finds Liam Sutcliffe, surrounded by 4 yellow jerseys. Last tackle, and they're still inside their own half, the Rhinos.
They've done a good job on the young Liam Sutcliffe. Not many opportunities, and that's good pressure.
Oh, it's a horrible bouncing ball that Monaghan deals with. Found the ground, though, and just gave the chasers a bit of time to close the Warrington captain down. Myler now, and here is Bridge again. Oh, that ball came out.
I think he flipped it.
It's a knock on.
Yep. Definitely tried to offload.
Warrington's ball. Warrington's ball, head and feed to Warrington, because it was a one-on-one.
Must have gone
he said it was one-on-one.
Well, I think it's ruled that he was actually trying to wrap the tackle up, and the Bridge was trying to get his arms loose to pass the ball, and he's called it a loose carry.
You know, last week when Warrington lost to Wigan, I felt it was in the last 30 minutes that the game tipped in the balance. But in my opinion, Warrington's players couldn't play at the pace and intensity of the Warriors, and it's a test here now in this final 30 minutes today. They've got a more significant lead. Can they play? Because the Rhinos' reputation in final quarters is phenomenal. They score more and concede less than any other team, and have done for several years. They'll finish this game strongly. You can never write them off. What's Warrington's physical and mental state here to compete with them now in the last 30 minutes?
Anthony England takes it forward. We've had 9 minutes of this second half, and here is Darrell Clark. He finds Myler. Myler trying to get around Liam Sutcliffe and company. Has to take tackle number 3.
Well, Tony Smith has obviously just said to Darrell Clark, get back into the swing of things, and he's done that. He could win it all on his own in the second half.
Patton with a long pass to Toby King. Toby King then gives it to Gene Ormsby. He brushes away from 2. He straightens up Ormsby. He gives it to Asatasi, and Warrington score again. Well, the Leeds tackling then was poor, but the Warrington play in attack was inventive. And the Warrington Wolves supporters, this hasn't been a happy hunting ground for them recently. And Roy Asatasi doesn't score many, but he's got over for his first try of the season as the big New Zealander.
Well, this is the incident that was classified as it was a one-on-one, but it classified as a knock-on. That gave him the possession. But they allowed the winger, Gene Ormsby, talk about tiptoeing through the tulips. You can see there, Toby King back on the inside. Anybody around? Yeah, his name is Asatasi. And that could be the game breaker. The hold up. You have the problem. You've got to make sure you put them down. They didn't. You can see there they had the numbers. Cuthbertson, he was caught. Couldn't stop this fella.
First try in 12 months for Roy Asatasi. Last one came in the cup win against Hull Kingston Rovers last April, 28-24. Well, here it could have easily cemented a Warrington victory at Headingley. And he gets a little pat on the back of the head. And then a bit of a bang on the head from Chris Hill. He's not quite as subtle as Carl Fitzpatrick. But that's a good try. And, well, it's Kevin Sinfield's big night. It's his party. It's all gone very, very sour Because look at this scoreline here for Warrington. They lead by 26 points to 4.
It has, Eddie, and Tony Smith knows what his side's got to do. They've got to make sure that they play with composure, and when Leeds Rhinos look at this, they'll be disappointed, and Kevin Sinfield was involved in 2 of those tackles, and he'll look back and he'll be frustrated with himself. But that defence isn't what Leeds Rhinos have built a reputation on over the years. Brian Mack will be disappointed with that effort.
Bridge for Warrington.
Well, the ability that Warrington have, and he knows it, does Brian McDermott, that the kicking game has been far superior. It's amazed me that Leeds have been caught out so often in and around the play the ball area. First and second markers have been pretty solid all the way through this season, but not tonight. They found the niche of the Wolves.
Saints hit the front against Widnes again, 18-12 at Langtree Park. Huddersfield with a decent lead at Hull FC, which will be music to the ears of all Wakefield supporters and James Webster. And here, at Warrington, on top form against the Rhinos, the league leaders.
Another great kick from
and a great chase.
Move, ball fellas. Square, wait.
He's in top form, Myler, with the kicking boot, that is for sure.
Interesting comment from Tony Smith this week. He said that the NRL apparently is a place where Richie Myler would like to ply his trade. Myler is out of contract at the end of the season, and he said, the Warrington coach, that Myler would be mad to turn the opportunity down. Ooh, they've lost their way a bit tonight, though, the Rhinos, haven't they? Passes going to ground, missing tackles.
Yeah,
amazing the difference in a week.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But I'm with you, Eddie. I found it rather strange that Tony Smith would, well, not supposedly encourage for him to go down, but...
no, he's not giving him the keys to the door to go. Here is Hayton.
Good run. Awful kick. They thought there was a knock-on. Did the home crowd?
Went backwards.
Do you know, that's been a significant difference for me tonight with Warrington. When Leeds have made a break, the effort and scramble for all those yellow jerseys to get back, cover the attacking support players and pounce on any loose ball. They've really worked very hard, and I bet they wish they were playing Leeds every day, because they've been superb in both contests against them, but failed to get up for the other matches to this level.
20-0 Huddersfield against Hull. Remember, in the first round it was Huddersfield 0, Hull 19, a complete reversal of that opening round fixture tonight. And this is following a similar pattern to the match we saw in March at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium when Warrington won. Ormsby claims the high kick, and that will be the turnover. They just waited and the trap was sprung. Ablett wants to get on with it. This is Watkins. Surely they were offside then.
Well, none of them got back to 10. Play on, said the official, but Leeds have got to up the tempo. They really have got to. I mean, look at that. They're not fighting to get up and play the ball. They're very flat in attack.
Brilliant defence by Warrington. Absolutely brilliant there, the effort to work up and close down Singleton as soon as he caught the ball. Look at that again, backing it up with the next play. Referee says knock on, but that's outstanding commitment here now. Good question the fitness last week, Mike. They proved me wrong today.
That was a good hit there by Darryl Clark. Boy, what a difference he's made, hasn't he, Darryl Clark, since the start of the second stanza.
Hardaker's mistake, if you can call it a mistake, because it was a ferocious challenge from the Warrington substitute.
Okay, heads in tight, nice and tight.
Darryl Clark, ever present in this his first year. Substitute in the last 4 though, and here again tonight. Monaghan.
Whoa! Move! Hold, Paul, wait. Go, it's good.
Clark again, down the right-hand side to Bridge.
2, move! Hold.
Look at that, eager to get on with it. You're not finding it from the home side, so that's a big hit.
There's by Singleton on Ashton Sims.
Go, 3, go.
Clark again to Myler, back it comes to Patton then to Ratchford.
He came a bit too early, Ratchford. He could have done just to hang back that split second.
Thought maybe Ratchford had lost that into the body of the Leeds player, but the referee decided he hadn't, so this now is the last tackle. And this is Myler, and he's floating it high again for Joel Monaghan to chase. He'll have momentum behind him. Was he taken out? Good play by Ash Handley on that far side.
Yeah, the youngsters impressed me when they put the bomb up. Really making a name for himself, but the eager defence from Warrington again. Look at him getting out of the blocks. It's good to see, because a couple of games this season, Warrington have looked a little bit lost, no communication, not much talk between them, but boy, they've been non-stop.
Catalan Hull KR tomorrow, 5 to 5 on Sky Sports 3. We're live in Perpignan. Joel Moon now for Leeds. As they try and get out of that cluttered area on the far side. Watkins gets the pass wide. Here is Achurch.
And again, good man-on-man marking from Warrington, not utilising the sliding defence, so that, look at that, they got an over.
Forward pass.
Yeah, floated tablet.
I don't think he's supposed to abuse the touches like that. I'm a big fan of Callum Watkins, but I don't know what he's saying to the guy with the flag there, whether he's right or wrong. You can't shout at an official like that.
Well, I think he is clearly right in that one. He's floated 3 yards forward, you know. And I would have liked to see the touches come on and report that and get the penalty that he deserved.
Well, let's talk about Warrington's defence. None of them were shooting in. None of them are trying to solve problems on their own. They're all buying a bit of time. That's the frustration from Callum Watkins that none of us will condone. But give credit, because Warrington's defence was brilliant. That's why he was frustrated.
Well, shout at the Warrington defence then, not at the officials.
Well, it has been a problem with Leeds at times, not every game. But there was a period in that first half as well when they were more intent trying to get a message across to the man with the whistle than get a message across to your opposition.
Joel Monaghan. Infielder comes to Myler. This now Harrison.
I'll be driving for a 1 point here, or are they going to go for it?
Myler. No, he goes high. Toby King has knocked that forward. Ormsby kicked the ball forward. It's a knock-on. It's the turnover.
Ironic cheers from the fans. They haven't done much to shout about with the Rhinos mob.
It shows the dominance of Warrington if they're cheering a knock-on by the opposition, doesn't it? Sinfield.
Well, you posed a question to me, Eddie, in regards to what do Warrington have to do to win tonight. And I said be very rough and tough.
Very physical, they did. They have been.
They've got to stop this little fella too when he starts to run, no doubt. He's waited there for almost an hour patiently. And Rob Burrow, number 7 on his back, is going to skip and start and hopefully try and find some gaps in some tiring players. But at the moment, his team are in reverse.
Yeah, not the best pass from Sinfield.
Ablett. He goes forward. Finds Sinfield again. He was looking to offload. Hill wrapped him up, but he got the ball away brilliantly to Sutcliffe. This is Cuthbertson. Oh, and the pass then to Ben Harrison.
I get the impression that Harrison shouted for that. Either way, he's come up trumps with it.
They've been forcing the pass the majority of this game, Leeds Rhinos. Apart from the first 5 minutes when they look totally dominant, they're looking to offload, but they know they're under pressure. 22 points behind with just 20 minutes to go, so probably only 12 set to 6, Eddie, with the ball to score 22 points, and they've got to start from now.
Curry's been magnificent tonight for Warrington.
Oh, Watkins in trouble.
Is injured. He's hurt. This is Darrell Clark. Here is Patton. Oh, nice drop of the shoulder from Patton, and he's spun to the floor eventually by Sutcliffe.
Clark on a solo, and now he's giving it out to Myler.
And here is Ratchford. Ratchford going on his own. The tackling again ineffective. Great offload, and that's better. That's much better in defence.
Was it ever? Hardacre, tremendous. Boy, it looked for all the world at Stephen Ratchford. Problems there for Callum Watkins.
And the Leeds supporters underneath us in the south stand a little concerned that the play was allowed to go on for so long then, with Callum Watkins flat out on the floor.
Yeah, he just caught the hip. It was Toby King's hip. He went in awkward, couldn't get the head round the side. The hip bone certainly made its mark. Was the care of the player these days as it should have been for many years before, but make sure they check him out.
Well, surely he'll be taken from the field and assessed, won't he? Because that seemed to be a bang to the head.
It should be.
Yes, he's going away to the other side of the field.
Well, that's what Graham McDermott didn't need. If there was one player out there that's got the twinkle toes to create the space and the gap and we produced the try. Well, we thought perhaps when this fella scored a try just before the half-time break that it would have spurred the home side on, but you've got to take your hat off to the way that Warrington have really just bashed them. Old-fashioned, rough, tough rugby league. Love it.
Long delay while Watkins makes his way over to the far side of the field. And so now he's off the pitch. Here we go again. A very eager Warrington.
Certainly are. They've got to be careful not to give away a silly penalty. There's one thing getting out of the blocks early, fast, but not too early.
Now Burrow, does he have the spark to ignite the Rhinos tonight? Sinfield behind him, and Peacock. Familiar names in this Leeds history book.
This is the best man-on-man marking I've seen from Warrington for many a season, Eddie.
Yes, the man getting the ball is just he's enveloped by defenders, isn't he? The moment he gets the ball in his hands, trapped in is Ben Curry.
Well, Ablett tried his damnedest to force the penalty. That's
nice
a neat
little
kick.
chip. Stevie Ward got to it, but it's the last. Widnes within 2 points of St Helens. Hull United notice back or on the scoreboard rather against Huddersfield. Ward limping heavily.
Yeah, and it was a nice little option. Little chip over the top, inventive, but again, Warrington far too positive to be tricked by that. They had the numbers there. That's much better, more aggressive play from the Leeds defence.
It was a big opportunity for the Leeds Rhinos here tonight. 3 of the next 5 games are at home before they face Wigan in the Magic, and they had the opportunity to progress in the Challenge Cup too. They're home to Huddersfield in round 6, but, and a word of caution for the Rhinos, the Giants, the last team to beat them in the Cup in 2013, so that won't be easy. High shot on Darrell Clark.
Yeah, they took him higher than the horizontal, and it was also a heavy shot from Peacock to start with.
It's just a reaction swing, isn't it, from Jamie Peacock? When someone runs at you like that,
yeah,
as Warrington decide to go for the 2 points, just let the clock tick down. But when you've got someone like Sir Darrell Clark with the balance that he's got, with the speed that he's got, he picks out a big man. He's got that big left foot step, and then he's an incredible talent, isn't he?
The reigning man of steel.
Yes, and I think everyone's been waiting for him to explode onto the scene. But he signed a long-term contract. I think he's one of those tremendous talents that you don't see often, Eddie, within the sport, and Darrell Clark's one of those.
Absolutely. There's a slight delay here ahead of the penalty. Let's go down to Rod then. He's got news of Callum Watkins.
Yeah, Callum Watkins off for concussion check, Eddie, which means Leeds have got 15 minutes from when he left the field to check him out. He's in the changing room now with the doctors getting checked out. So whatever the result of that, he's going to be missing for most of the remainder of the game, because even if he is fit to continue, there'll only be about 3 minutes left by the time he's fit to return.
Thanks, Rod.
That was interesting, Eddie. Whilst all this was going on, quite a few of the Leeds players were having a good old natter with the opposition.
Yeah, and the South Stand were complaining, appealing to the officials, saying to stop the clock, but I think he did the right thing, didn't he? He doesn't immediately have to stop the clock when a team elect to kick a penalty goal.
It's 1 minute. 1 minute from when the decision's made till the call time off, and that's what he did.
Time will be back on in a second because Ratchford's lined this kick up. Here we go. It's a good kick. It's a good kick. 28 points to 4. Warrington inching their way closer and closer to 2 valuable points in the first Utility Super League.
Well, Eddie, in the first half, they had a chance in front of the sticks to kick for 2 points, didn't they, when they were leading by just 8 points. But they wanted to keep the pressure on, they wanted to keep attacking Leeds' line. On this occasion, people say, well, why have you gone for 2 points? It's all to do with the clock.
Well, for a short kick-off from Sinfield, but it was a little bit too long, the short kick-off, because straight to Monaghan, who had no problems at all in picking that ball out of the sky. Here's James Laithwaite.
It's amazing, isn't it? You know, Warrington went through a pretty bad period, 4 to 5 weeks of where they were being picked off, not getting into the swing of things, but they've certainly got on track tonight.
Yeah, they look a good side tonight. 60 years ago, of course, they last claimed the league title. They've had 3 cup wins, 2 grand final defeats. Under Tony Smith, the Super League crown remains the Holy Grail. If they could maintain this form between now and October the 9th, they wouldn't be far away. Sutcliffe to try and run this ball back. But this Warrington defence is swarming, is eager and is outstanding.
It is, and it's lovely to watch. I mean, sometimes it's been cruel, but the way they've held each other.
An elbow in the face then on Sinfield from Ashton Sims.
It was getting touchy. You know, even when the game had stopped, to check out Callum Watkins, and they were preparing for Bradford to take that kick. There was a lot of verbals going on. And I think it wise for the official now to bring him away. That's silly play.
It's no way to treat someone on his 500th game, is it?
It's no way to treat anybody on his first game. Well, to me, that should be a red card. It wasn't as though he was involved in the tackle. It was a deliberate smash to the face, and yet it's still out on the field of play.
You know what it has done, though? It's given Leeds a chance to attack a bit closer downfield. We've played for 25 minutes since we've had a break. This is the first time that Leeds have played the ball within 40 metres of their opponent's try line. They've been starved of any territory. Here they get another opportunity, but it's been a brilliant control of where the second half's been played by Warrington until that needless penalty.
Back to 6, came off a Warrington player.
Yeah, it's a free play. Sims is there again. He shouted held on the leg lift.
Sinfield will play the ball. He thought he got a penalty. They haven't. Still got the 6.
Maguire gets the ball away. It was asking a lot of Stevie Ward to go through those 2. Penalty to Leeds.
Big tap, get on with it. Can't afford to mess around, let the clock tick away, and that's what they've done.
Delaney will drive it in.
But more effort now, come on, get up to it. Better there from Delaney.
This is Peacock. Tried to go inside Hill. Force back.
Struggled that. Get up quickly as possible, mind you, with Peacock.
Maguire.
Probably out on his feet, Eddie.
Sinfield, here's Ablett. And Ablett trying to use his strength now, but 3 onto 1 doesn't go. Sinfield again, short ball this time. Singleton out the back, knock on by Ben Curry. Almost his first mistake of the match.
Yeah, bobbed up to him. Just couldn't get to it. It was play on. Could have dropped on it. Wasn't a knock on from Leeds. He's had a fine season, this fella.
Well, 13 minutes and 24 points.
Come on.
That's 4 converted tries, isn't it?
Let's lock in, Warrington.
And that would only give them the draw.
Heads in. Stay. Okay, Kev.
So you think this is going to be Warrington's night?
Pretty sure about
Hardacre.
Pretty sure about that, Eddie. I can't see Warrington falling in a slump.
Burrow, Sinfield, hangs on, and goes for the gap. Gets the ball away, and Maguire is pulled down by Bridge. The referee shouting, play it. Well, Bridge never let go of him. That could be yellow.
That could be a deliberate offence.
think Danny Maguire might find himself in a bit of trouble here.
Well, it's about the third time that the referee's spoken to someone about Danny Maguire.
It's not about you, listen. That's the third time I'm speaking to you, fourth time actually I'm speaking to you about Danny Maguire. Calm down. You can do it in an appropriate manner, all right? I asked you why do I quit you? Because I'm not giving a mark and I'm not spoken to the player.
Like I said, Eddie, that there are times when Leeds, for some unknown reason, completely lose the plot. It's as though they blame everything on the official, start nattering to him. Get on with the game.
Burrow underneath the sticks. Big push from Singleton. 4 push him back the other way. Sims all over the top of him again. Burrow. The ball away. Peacock one-handed to Sinfield. Sinfield a bounce pass to Moon. We haven't got any way through this Warrington defence. Does Sutcliffe hold the key? Gets the ball away to Burrow. Burrow then finds Maguire. Maguire delays the pass and gives it to HH, and HH scores.
They're claiming a double movement. He's going to give it, and I think it's right.
Every decision the referee is giving, the players of both sides are in his ear and in his face. It's not right.
Eddie is controlling the game well, I think, James Child. He's talking to players. He was calming it down before when there was a fight. And this is just Leeds Rhinos when they're at their best, when they're offloading the ball, when they're going at the line, they're pulling defenders out. And we were looking for more of this in the first half. When they go from one side or the other, they engage contact, they drag the Warrington defenders in. And if you're dragging players in, you know there's going to be opportunities out wide. And then when Mitch Church just steps off that right foot, he's too big, he's too powerful, and he scores the try.
Yeah, pretty smart move there by Maguire. It looked as though he was setting himself up, and that is positive.
They were complaining, Warrington, about a possible double movement, which was never on, and James Child was almost on his knees watching that. So it was a very good decision. And Sinfield, on his big night, that's gone a bit sour for him, adds the extras.
It's an indication of how well Warrington have defended here tonight, though, because there were 7 passes or offloads needed to keep that ball alive and find a chance to for A-Church to crash over outside. The referees, well, he couldn't be in a better position, could he, there, to see that the ball hits the line. That's all it has to do in rugby league. That's the try. If it hits the whitewash, there's no doubt about it.
To be fair, this man, James Child, has refereed quite well, perhaps a little bit lenient. I refer to the action from the prop forward Ashton Sims with the forearm into the face of Kevin Sinfield. I thought it deserved a stint in the bin. Got away with it.
Let's get down to Rod Studd.
Just quick confirmation, Eddie, that Callum Watkins will not be coming back for the Leeds Rhinos. He's failed the concussion test. He won't be back tonight.
So Callum Watkins sitting it out for the rest of the match, 10 minutes of it. And Leeds suddenly with the hope of something.
Eddie, and another telling sign, Jamie Peacock goes through the line, gets his arm free, and he's just turned around and had a right go at his teammates because nobody was in support.
Maguire and Ward. Moon. Thunderous challenge low down by Myler. Maguire will hoist this high. The chase is on. Ablett's leading the chase for Leeds. Ratchford's underneath it. Took it well, but a good chase by Ablett in the end, that was. Where was that in the first half?
Missing. Simple.
Orm's been out.
This really has thrown down the gauntlet, hasn't it? The way that Warrington have played tonight. It's amazing, isn't it? They were red-hot favourites for Leeds before the kick-off. Remember, of course, that Brian McDermott has had some great success with this Leeds outfit, but is still as yet to coach tabletop inside.
Well, they're going to stay top because they had such an overwhelming advantage before the match started, but you just saw their Saints are beating Widnes now, so they will close the gap. It'll be 4 points. Right behind them are Wigan. Warrington are closing.
And again, okay, it was a touch too long by Richie Myler, but he's been superb. You know, a lot of people try to say that Richie Myler's, you know, a little bit weak in defence, but he has just been enormous out there on that right-hand side.
Yeah, he's played well tonight.
Oh, he's had a brilliant game. He's controlled things, been quite happy to farm it out, make sure that the forwards got over the advantage line, but his kicking has been just top quality.
Leeds, by the way, at Huddersfield next weekend on Sky Sports again.
That'll be a cracker.
It will be. Huddersfield doing well against Hull tonight, last time we heard. Huddersfield Leeds is next Thursday. Oh, that's a gift. 7:30 Sky Sports 2 for the Giants and the Rhinos in the land of the Giants. Laithwaite.
Not easy there in the land of the Giants, did you say, Eddie?
And Wigan Hull KR next Friday at 7:30 on 3.
Same again, hold.
Joel Monaghan waits. Have a scamper away, and he's clawed to the ground by Joel Moon.
Great move as well by Tony Smith to throw Mickey Hyam on for the latter part of this
This is for your drop goal. This is for your drop goal here, Mike.
Well, it should be.
Well, it's
there
back
he
to
is.
Ratchford. Back to Ratchford. Drop goal attempt. Oh, off the post.
Oh, good bounce. No, it went the right way.
Well, it went the right way if you're a Leeds Rhino supporter.
Yeah.
Steady on, Steve-O.
And it just shows you that you had plenty of time. Just hit the post.
Sinfield is brought to earth.
Wait.
Just to be fair, you know, you haven't got any favourites, have you? You dislike them all, really. Is that fair enough?
I think I'd explain it to say that I hate them all. I think that'd be better.
I'm sure in some cases the feeling is mutual.
Of course, and the only feeling that I know about it is that it is the greatest game of all, and we've seen some tremendous tries, and we've also seen a tremendous attempt that didn't just make it.
And that passage of play probably sums up Leeds' night, doesn't it? The mistakes, nobody in front. And the Warrington fans, Eddie, will be sat at home scratching their head thinking, what's happened to us in our form? In our last, 8 games, including tonight? We've won 3, we've lost 5, we beat Wakefield, and we beat Leeds on 2 occasions. Nobody else has beat Leeds. Nobody else has beat Leeds this year. And some clubs and some teams have not looked even getting anywhere near the Rhinos.
Well, I suppose in many ways, Tez, is that you look at the fact that Tony Smith, of course, he was a coach here for many years. He would know quite a lot about all these players and their temperaments. And quite frankly, they've come up with the goods, especially up front. They've just, or in your terminology, they've bashed them.
And there's 2 points penalty at the scrum.
It's penalty at the scrum, you can't kick for goal.
Well, they were just asked the question then, Stephen Ratchford. I just heard him, man.
He's like you then, Terry.
Yeah, just heard him saying 2 points, sir, 2 points, sir.
Differential penalty, they have to run it. And that's what they're doing.
To be fair, Eddie, he is a forward.
Asatazi. He's had a big night tonight while he's been on the field, scored his first try of the season.
They all have. There hasn't been a poor player on the Warrington side tonight.
Myler.
He's been outstanding. Another drive, come on, we'll take the one.
Westwood just slipped.
Here he is.
Vital moment.
Oh, he wants it, they're going to keep it.
Patton drills the ball over the top of the bar. Declan Patton, not done much wrong tonight or last week when he came into the team.
It's solid, and that is a neat 1 point. Doesn't that warm the cockles of your heart?
You have to learn very quickly on the job, and Declan Patton's proved tonight. Last week he was asked to make a lot of tackles and missed 1 or 2 that probably would have regretted and not made the right decisions occasionally. That hasn't been the case tonight. He's proven he's got the ability and the intelligence to learn quickly on the job.
And he had Gareth O'Brien breathing down his neck tonight. He was named in the 19 along with Kevin Penny. Tony Smith stuck with the team that lost last week. Refused to panic, refused to change the team. Gave them another chance, and boy, have they responded.
They certainly have, and I don't think there's any excuse. I suppose a lot of people, maybe some of the journalists would be saying to Brian McDermott, you think the emotion got to the players because of the fact 500 games for Kevin Sinfield, and I'm pretty sure they'll say no, we were beaten by a better side.
Intelligent kick too from Myler there, just winding the clock down.
He's had his ups and downs, hasn't he, Myler? He's been dropped a few times by his coach, Tony Smith, but he has repaid the faith. He's been in full control throughout. He's enjoyed it. And as I say, often in the past they say, you know, pinpoint miler, make sure that he has to do a lot of tackling. In that department again, he's been just solid.
Here is Kevin Sinfield, but look at that defence again.
Wait, guys. Wait!
I mean, so quick out of the blocks, they've just not given Leeds any time to think whatsoever. There's always 2, 3, sometimes 4 and 5 men in the tackle. When it was needed in the opening 5 minutes, boy, did they defend their line for their lives. And they've got the reward.
Yeah, and I think it's shown up tonight with the fact that, you know, Paul Ayton, not many opportunities to run from dummy half. They brought out Rob Burrow. He hasn't had many opportunities.
Oh, Sutcliffe. It was a knock on.
Where's the knock on?
I think it must have hit a Warrington player.
That's what he's saying. It's gone on to a Warrington player before he regained possession.
There's the knock on, and there's Leo Myler who makes it a knock on. That's a knock on.
Okay. Yeah. My apologies.
Last 2 minutes, fellas. Keep working.
So the scrum will go down, and it'll be Warrington's head and feed as a result of that knock on. 2 minutes remaining. Not the best pass from the scrum, but finds its way to Monaghan. Ratchford. Man of the match decision tonight will be interesting because there, as Steve-O rightly says, there hasn't been a poor player in bright yellow. Hyam been instrumental in much. Curry's been magnificent. Ratchford has.
Well, the first 30 minutes, there was no doubt the man of the match, and that was Mickey Hyam.
Here's Curry again. Here's Curry again. Gets the ball away. Oh, it somehow finds its way to Ormsby.
Oh, we've got to try here if they can get it out wide.
Laithwaite straightens it up,
loses
it.
Lost it.
Loses it. It would have been the cherry on top of the cake.
If Toby King would have gone inside then, I'm sure, inside Ben Curry, I'm sure there would have been a try then. Do you know, they're all on the toes, aren't they, Warrington? They're all putting their hand up, they all want the ball.
Well, Laithwaite is trying to say to the official, why don't you look at the screen, sir? Why do you go up to the screen? He's convinced that it was stolen, but...
it was a loose carry, is what James Child has said.
Yeah, he's got it right, as the official. It's been tetchy, hasn't it?
It has. But only one real blow-up. Maguire with the kick, an invitation to chase. And Ratchford won the race against Liam Sutcliffe.
Let him play it. Go.
Bridge. Ben Harrison into the last minute of the match. A good night at the office for the Warrington Wolves.
Has it ever? Come on, let's have another field goal attempt. May as well. Another drive.
They've been a bit camera shy lately, Warrington. They've lost their last 3 visits to this ground, but they're going to win this one and win it handsomely as well.
Oh, they're setting up a move to bring in Stephen Ratchford.
There's Pat. Dabs the kick through. Picked up. Sutcliffe sends Ablett away. Asatazi gets Ablett. Tries to pinch the ball as well. There's been a lot of this tonight.
Yeah, and they've got away with it. It's been great tactics by Tony Smith and the Warrington players. You've got to admire that. You know, you can test the opposition. You can also test the official, and he knows it as Tony Smith.
It's a penalty to Leeds. The players are all congratulating each other and shaking hands and hugging, but the penalty has to be taken, and the game has to be finished in the correct manner.
They'll just
waving everybody off the field.
They'll just tap it.
They think it's all over.
It is now.
No, they've got to take the free kick, Steve-O.
Ready for the kick.
Well,
he could have just tapped it and taken the tackle, but he didn't.
It's up in the air job, isn't it? Where's Ratchford?
Oh, they haven't got the... Oh, there he is. Thought they'd forgotten to put it up. There it goes.
That's okay.
And that's the final tackle of the match. Ward on Monaghan. Almost silenced at Headingley, apart from the left-hand side as we watch, where the Warrington fans have stayed behind to cheer their men off this pitch. The Leeds crowd, many of them have already headed for home. They have been taken apart by Warrington tonight. The first half from the Wolves was magnificent, and they hardly gave them a sniff in the second half either. Watkins try, an Achurch try, one in each half, Sinfield with the goal. Ormsby, Monaghan, Sims, Curry, Asatazi with the tries for the Wolves. Brian and John, it was a feast for the Wolves tonight.
It absolutely was, Eddie. They were 10 points to the good at half-time, and the try that sealed it came 2 minutes into the second half through Ben Curry. One of the best Warrington Wolves performers of the season. One of the best performances from Darrell Clark, I would say, since he's joined the club, John.
Yeah, it was trademark stuff from him from the base of the ruck, but I've got to say, that was the catalyst there. That break from Roy Asatazi just stopped you once, just to show you this is the situation that Darrell Clark wants.
He wants players, on that, hasn't he?
He wants players, as you have there with Cuthbertson and Aiton, not set, not talking, and look at the ability to go there. It's fantastic. And then the ability to get in and behind that natural hole that the markers cannot police if they're not set, onto Ratchford. And then a lovely little back on the ball on the inside to Ben Curry. That's effectively the game breaker.
And that's Warrington Wolves at their very best. Ben Curry and Ben Harrison involved in setting up tries in the first half. Laithwaite and Westwood, though, in the back row, John. Take me through their performances tonight.
This area of the field we're looking at, we saw it there with Darrell Clark getting behind the ruck. Have a look at both Westwood and Laithwaite's contributions back-to-back in 2 clips here. This is what they did so well. They found areas of weakness in that Leeds defensive line and kept going at them. And then off the back of that, they were able to play with on the front foot, either with Darrell Clark getting out of dummy half, or in this occasion, through a couple of pairs of hands, and then back on the inside for a rare try to the prop forward, Roy Asatazi. Credit Gene Ormsby as well. Also, we saw him in round 10, ripping Wakefield to shreds with good footwork at the line, and shows again why Tony Smith's put a bit of faith in him on the left-hand wing. But Leeds must be absolutely sick to death of this band of yellow shirts, because they were totally dominant both sides of the ball, Brian.
Like they did the first time they beat Leeds this season as well.
Yeah,
they won it by defending.
And this is just a little clip here just to show you this was happened all too often. They were able to put so much pressure on Leeds, restrict the meters, low error count, high completion, stripped everything back to the basics, and they thoroughly deserved the win.
Leeds have lost twice this season, both the Warrington Wolves. Most impressive Warrington Wolves performance of the season?
Oh, by far, yeah.
OK, well, we can hear from the man of the match now, Richie Myler. He's downstairs talking to Rod.
Richie, well done. It's been a pretty frustrating year for Warrington and you personally with injuries and whatnot. How satisfying is that win for you?
It certainly is, and to come to a place like this at Leeds, it's tough, and our big men did a really good job for us tonight. I mean, they really ramped up, and we've done a bit of soul-searching and working hard as a team, and that's what's put us on the right track, and we come up against a great Leeds side that are flying, and we was able to get the win, so we're pretty happy tonight.
Did you feel under pressure as a group, bearing in mind how poor the results have been recently?
Yeah, this club's all about playing well, and when we weren't playing well, it hurts, and the team took that to heart a little bit, and we bounced back, we stuck together as a group, and I thought the players that have come in, Toby King and Deck Patton on that side have been outstanding for us, and yeah, we're looking to kick on now.
OK, thanks, Richard, thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Here's Kevin Sinfield, he's also here. Just congratulating Richard. Kevin, thanks for coming in, talk to us, we appreciate it. Look, rugby league, like any other sport, is a results business, but first of all, can you just reflect on the achievement of your 500 games for us?
Yeah, it means I'm old. No, it's well, credit to Warrington, they did a number on us tonight. That Saints game probably took a little bit too much out of us, and Warrington were too good tonight. We knew their recent results probably didn't do them justice, and as we saw earlier on this year, they're a great team and fully deserve the win tonight.
Did you feel a bit like a cage rhino waiting there on the bench to get on?
Oh, look, you want to do what's right for the team, don't you? Our halves have been going great, the team's been playing great. I have to wait my turn like everybody else, so disappointing tonight, you know, with the result, but we'll live to find another day.
Thanks for joining us, Kevin. Congratulations on the achievement.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you.
Yes, a wonderful achievement from Kevin Sinfield, and a man, of course, who has served this club with distinction over the years. And just after the interview with Rod, he went over to the centre of the field, and from John Atkinson, one of the other 3 Leeds greats before him who've made 500 appearances for this club, he received a special commemoration of the event, Kevin Sinfield, but I'm sure deep down he feels abject disappointment, A, because of the performance that the side has put in tonight, and B, because when he got his award, the stadium was virtually empty. Still, that's the way it is, that's the way it goes. And Warrington, well, they have played brilliantly tonight to deny Sinfield his big party. Well, a great night for the Warrington Wolves. They have beaten the Leeds Rhinos, the leaders of the First Utility Super League, 29 points to 10. Brilliant performance from them, and the coach is Tony Smith. He must be delighted with Rod.
Tony, well done on a terrific result here at Headingley. First of all, Leeds have scored 356 points against the 10 other opponents. You've kept them to just 16 in 2 games. How have you managed that?
Good defence. They asked questions. You saw them there at the end of it. Some of their execution was just a bit off there tonight. Similar to Saints were a little bit off in their execution last week against Leeds, and Leeds made them pay for it. When they're not quite sticking for them, and that's how it was. But my boys were working hard for each other in defence. We were a bit disappointed with our second half last week in particular, so we're really keen to put out 80 minutes. You know you've got to against Leeds, otherwise they hurt you, just like Wigan hurt us last week.
You're renowned for saying that one result may not be all that significant, but you get the feeling this could be highly significant, bear in mind who you've beaten and how well they were playing.
We'll just deal with tonight. We'll assess it like we do every other game, and go away and take some positives from it and look at some areas that we need to improve on, just like we always do. Every week's a new week. You just got to be on it each and every week. But, you know, tonight we're on it, and we're going to try and build some. The last few weeks we've been much more consistent. Rod, I don't often do it, but one of our directors has had a hard time, and just like to send out a cheerio to Lance. He's been in hospital for a while, and so all the best to you, Lance. Boys did it for you. And Jock, who's fighting there for us as well. So to both of them, all the best.
Thanks for talking to us, Tony. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Brian Max here.
I'm sure that would have done those two gentlemen the power of good. The other scores tonight, Huddersfield have beaten Hull 24 points to 4. Saints have eventually got over the top of Widnes. It was a bit of a scrap at some stage, 34-16. We're going to see the scores from those matches now with Brian and Barry.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie. It was never going to be easy for St Helens. They had won 1 of their last 5 games, and they were facing a Widnes side, Barry, that had beaten the Castleford Tigers by 30 points. And this game was neck and neck, certainly for the first 40 minutes.
It was a good game, this, Brian. Widnes went into it full of confidence. It was locked up at half-time, but it were the half-backs that came through. Kevin Brown getting the first try, flat-footed a couple of forwards on their own defensive line. Widnes had the strike. You see a rushed pass from Manicafor there, a bit of a panic pass. Luke Walsh gets his first try after coming back from that injury.
In his first start of the season, that after 28 minutes, Barry. Then just 3 short minutes later, his half-back partner popped up.
That's a good hard line that Travis Burns runs. Takes 2 players over with him. A prop forwards try that, but Manicafor, who was probably at fault for giving Walsh his try, fed Jeremiah, and Joe Mellor locks it up at half-time, 12 points apiece.
OK, Kraft in the first half scored the tries, and then this, the brute force of Alex Walmsley
yeah,
scored.
I think Alex Walmsley, Mossy Masora and Kyle Amor, they didn't have it all their own way tonight. Widnes really got up into their faces, made it difficult for them. Matt Whitley, the young man who just celebrated that new contract with the club, he got Widnes's try of the second half, but it just stung Saints into action. Matt Flemings.
Yeah, Matty Fleming's try made it 22 points to 16, and then Saints hit them again, Barry, with 2 tries through Makinson and Percival.
Well, Makinson was outstanding all night. I think that he had some real threat. He made a break for that Matt Fleming try as well, so he probably, for me, was the best player on the pitch. Had that constant strike and obviously his pace to burn.
Percival, Barry, he'd missed the last 7 games, started on the bench in this game. Were you impressed with his return?
Yeah, and he's a Widnes lad as well. I know that Percival will have enjoyed that. The only slight black mark on this, it was just before that pass was given, or just before that break was made. Luke Walsh seemed to be clutching at his hamstring. I hope that's not an injury. I hope it's not a bad sign for Saints fans.
OK, Barry, I'm going to take you back to round 1. The Huddersfield Giants hosted Hull FC at the John Smith Stadium. Hull FC went away 19 points to 0. victors. Huddersfield were abject that day, especially at home. Revenge would have been on their minds tonight.
I fancied Huddersfield because I think that the performances they've been putting in have warranted a little bit of confidence. Danny Brough, again, just flat-footing some Hull FC defenders on the line, but the big fella, Akumatai, scores his 3rd try in 2 games, and good footwork and good pace from him.
OK, Ellis scores this, Barry, just on half-time, and all Huddersfield, you think, in that first 40 minutes?
Nice kick, nice follow. The ball bounces up, he's allowed to tackle him. Leroy Cudjoe forces the mistake, and Jamie Ellis gets the Giants in 16-0 at half-time. Lovely feet from Michael Lawrence, nice dancing footwork from the big fella who goes in, 20 points to 0.
And this the sole response from Hull FC.
Yeah, they didn't throw too much at the Huddersfield Giants, so they didn't seem to be troubled, the Giants. I think, for me, it's more about how dominant Huddersfield were in this game.
And Mark Sneyd in his return, how did he play?
Didn't get enough touches on the ball. We often talk about him and Leon Price. The more times they touch the ball, the better they will be. This is a great finish. I'm not sure. I think he managed to keep his foot in. That's bang on the hooter, but a good performance from Huddersfield. I'm sure Paul Anderson will be thrilled to bits.
Well, I'll be absolutely delighted with that performance. Good night for St Helens, good night for Huddersfield, and a great night for the Warrington Wolves, Eddie.
Indeed so. Let's look at what all that means in the table. Well, Hull are stuck there just above Wakefield at the foot of the table. Widnes, they don't move either. Warrington rather up to 5th. Huddersfield up to 4th. Saints up to 2nd. Leeds stay where they are, but the lead now is 4 points. That's all. Let's hear from Brian McDermott, the Leeds Rhinos coach. What's he made of it all?
Brian, thanks for coming down to talk to us. So different from last week against St Helens. Why was it so different from Leeds tonight, do you think? Or was it just one of those things?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll tell you tomorrow when we've had a look. Do you know, when we went 3 tries down, I didn't think we were 3 tries worse a team, you know. So, but then when you are 3 tries down, the game takes on a different focus. You know, we have to do different things, and it's you end up, you know, playing catch up, and you know, some of that style that we play doesn't work as well sometimes as well. So a few things didn't go our way tonight, and but you know, you've got to look at what Warrington in the early stages of the game, especially. They nailed, you know, pretty much every chance they got. So good on them. Yeah.
Sometimes it's difficult in the immediate aftermath of a game, but looking broadly, we're at the halfway point, give or take now, and you're 4 points clear of the top. That's pretty decent run of form, isn't it?
Well, I'll maintain everything I've said, whether we've been chasing to get top spot or when we've been in top spot. You've got to be playing well. You've got to keep playing well, and you know, at some stage in the near future, there's going to be some really, really big games, whether that be in the Challenge Cup or deciding who's going to be league leaders or playoffs, and we've got to be playing well. So the league position and points cleared is all well and good and nice, but we've got to be playing well, and that's what we maintain to do.
Thanks for joining us, Brad. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks, Brad.
Still 4 points clear at the top, but Warrington have beaten them twice now in 2015, the only team to do so. Right, coming next here on Sky Sports 1, we have the Fantasy Football Club. That is the next programme you can enjoy here on Sky Sports 1. What have we got coming up for you rugby league-wise? Well, Super League again, Saturday. Catalan Dragons against Hull Kingston Rovers, 4:55. That's available live on Sky Sports 3. We're in the south of France. Next week's matches look like this. We have Huddersfield, who've had a great win today against Leeds, who've been beaten tonight. 7:30 Sky Sports 2 Thursday. And we'll see Wigan taking on Hull Kingston Rovers at 7:30 on Sky Sports 3 next Friday. So that's all coming for you. Don't forget the Catalan Dragons match against Hull KR tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed what you've had here at Headingley. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.